We're about to get this party started. Welcome to Therapy Thursday. Amar Khalil, listen in. Morning, fellas. It is Therapy Thursday. It is February the 5th, Black History Month. And I'm excited. I see we got Will on the line. We got Ann Jr. I'm at the holiday Black History Month. But I don't know about you, but I'm Black History 365 days a year. Every time I wake up, pretty much, I'm Black History. I don't know why they want to make it a month, because my whole life is Black History. 12 child, 14 kids. So I'm Black History 365 days a year. So I'm just checking in. And Junior, how you doing this morning? Okay. Will, how you doing this morning? Can y'all hear me?
Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm just in a spot right now.
Okay,
How you
it's all
guys doing?
good.
Yep, yep.
Oh, we good. We good. We're gonna get into it. I hope y'all took the time to listen to the video. And if you didn't, I'm gonna play it and then we're gonna get into it. So for Therapy Thursday, I wanted to talk about this. Hold on a second.
Can we please stop telling people, well, that's still your mom, that's still your dad, or that's still your brother, and that's still your sister? Toxic is toxic, whether it's family or not. You are allowed to walk away from people who consistently hurt you. You see, they say blood is thicker than water, but blood is not thicker than peace of mind. Can we please stop telling people, well, that's still your mom, that's still your dad, or that's still your brother, and that's still your sister? Toxic is toxic, whether it's family or not. You are allowed to walk away from people who consistently hurt you. You see, they say blood is thicker than water, but blood is not thicker than peace of mind. Can we?
So that's what I want to talk about today. But before I talk about that, it's February. Zai Family Devotional. I wrote this book because I didn't want my kids to be toxic. When you got 9 kids, and that's a lot of kids, first of all, 9 kids. And Melanie Boston said, tell us, please. I'm going to start talking about it, but let me talk about the reason I came up with the Zai Family Devotional is because with 9 kids, you got 9 different personalities, and then you got the parents' personalities, you got friends' personalities. Good morning, Terry Ann. And you got all these different personalities. So what I did, every morning, we come downstairs, I give my kids the Bible, somebody read the scripture, we hold hands, and before we can get started, they're joking, they're laughing, they're doing all this stuff. And then we hold hands. I lead them in prayer. And then as a whole, we pray the Lord's Prayer, which is really not the Lord's Prayer. It's really the sinner's prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors, or forgive us our trespassers as we forgive our trespassers. So every morning and then every night. And, and then sometimes throughout the day, I'll text them to check on them. Hey, have a great day. Be blessed. Love you, Pops. And then that's the first text they get in the morning. And the last text they get before they go to sleep. Good night. Love you. That's it. Simple. That's it. Why? Because I don't want my kids to be toxic. Now, I ain't saying they're not toxic. Some of them are over the top toxic. So let me just tell you, in the Zai Family Devotional, all the scriptures we went through over the years, because it's a scripture for every single day of the year. It's a scripture in here. I think I missed one. But anyway, it says in John 5:2, from time to time, an angel of the Lord will come down and stir up the water. The first one who step into the pool after each such disturbance will be cured of whatever disease he had or she had. And then Jeremiah 33:3 said, call to me and I will answer you and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know. So what happened was there was a man by the pool of this, I can't pronounce it that great, so we ain't gonna even play with it. There was a man who was lame for over 30 years, sitting by that pool. over 30 years sitting by that pool. And when he saw the disciples, they said, silver and gold we have none. But what we can do is pray for you. And they told him to rise up, get up and walk. But when they told him to get up, he said, I've been sitting here. Now you got some people who praying for you, who speaking life into you, who telling you positive stuff, who, hey, I ain't got no money, but I got something that's better than money. You will be able to walk. You will be able to enjoy your life. You will have a great time. 30-some years, somebody had to wake him up, wash him up, get him dressed, sit him by the pool, for he can wait for the angels to come down and mess with the water, anoint the water, and he can get in the water and he can be healed. And when he asked him, first thing he said, well, I've been here 30-some years, and that's what I want to talk about. God has blessed each one of us. Each and every person is blessed. And if you don't think you're blessed, this morning, God gave you brand new grace. Grace, God, unmerited favor to undeserving men. And I'm not preaching. I'm just giving y'all some insight into your own personal life. So God has gave you brand new grace, God's undeserving favor to, it's God don't owe you grace. So grace is unmerited grace, undeserving favor for deserving favor for undeserving men and women, right? So every morning you get brand new grace. And every morning you get mercy. And then you get eyes to see, ears to hear, a mouth to talk, a nose to breathe, the activities and use of your limbs. You get blood running warm in your vein. You get that, right? Then you laid in the bed last night. And then you wasn't outside. And you're not in the hospital. And if you are in the hospital, you're aware somebody can help you. And then he put a roof over your head, clothes on your back, shoes on your feet, some form of income, some food in the cabinet. You wasn't outside last night. You wasn't incarcerated. You weren't in jail. And last night wasn't your last night. So I'm coming today, and this is my topic today. Listen real hard. Listen.
Please stop telling people, well, that's still your mom, that's still your dad, or that's still your brother, and that's still your sister. Toxic is toxic, whether it's family or not. You are allowed to walk away from people who consistently hurt you. You see, they say blood is thicker than water, but blood is not thicker than peace of mind. Can we please?
Did you get that? Blood is not thicker than peace of mind. So, again, I got 6 boys. We had 7. One went on to be with the Lord in 23. 6 boys, 2 daughters, right? One loved toxicity and love it, live for it. Want to my self-esteem, my this, my that, that. I get that. I do. I was 283 pounds, preaching, had to have a heart, I had a heart attack. Thanks be to God. I prayed and said, this is not unto death. Had to have my gallbladder removed. Then been driving on the highway and seeing my son in the rearview mirror, his car flipping in the air, trying to drive him to college, and prayed, and God blessed him. And even though they cut my niece out the car, she had to go through some surgeries, but she's here. She's great. Son is great. 2 sons got shot. Wife had cancer, all of this stuff. But every single day, I wake up thankful. I wake up grateful. Every morning, I don't have pity parties. Out of all the stuff I've been through, I'm the 12th child of 14 kids. So imagine how many times I got beat up all the time. Imagine how many times I got talked about all the time. I never thought about killing myself. Imagine all the stuff that happened in my life and continues to happen in my life. Still, you're not going to catch me complaining. You're not going to catch me having a pity party. Why? Because when my eye gates open, I realize I got a right to give God praise. I got a right to thank him. I can still remember the day. I prayed for the things I have. My wife told me yesterday, hey, it's a link under the sink. I'm like, cut the water off. We got a warranty. And sometime today, I'm going to call a warranty company. Got a leak outside. But I prayed for the house. I can still remember the day I prayed for the house. God blessed me with the house. Listen, don't think things are not going to happen. Wear and tear. It's a beautiful home. But there's a thing called wear and tear. You got all these people in this house. So it's wear and tear. So why complain about it? Get a warranty. Why complain about anything, Robert, when God has been good to you? My car, it was snowing. I just cut my car on and left home. Went and dropped my son off in my wife's car. And Terry said I was mad, and I thank God I'm not something. I got to wait for her to finish the rest. But listen, hurt people hurt people. Get that. Listen to that. Repeat that. Hurt people hurt people. Let me tell you, she said, the joy I have, the world didn't give it to me. Grace. It was God's grace. Listen, I'm reading this book, The Fifth Agreement, right? I done read the Fourth Agreement. They added a fifth one. In the Fifth Agreement, it says, be impeccable with your words, speak with integrity, say only what you mean, avoid using words to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your words in the direction of truth and love. Now, here's another part. Don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dreams. When you are immune to the opinion and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. Then it says, don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask the question, to express what you really want, communicate with others as clearly as you can, to avoid misunderstanding, to avoid sadness, and to avoid drama. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. And then, Anthony Sr., it says, always do your best. Your best is going to change from the moment to moment. It will be different when you're healthy as opposed to sick. Under any circumstances, simply do your best, and you will avoid judgment, self-abuse, and self-regret. And then be skeptical, but learn to listen. Don't believe yourself or anybody else. Use the power of doubt to question everything you hear. Is it really the truth? Listen to the intent behind the word, and you will understand the real message. So, again, this is what we're talking about today.
Stop telling people, well, that's still your mom, that's still your dad, or that's still your brother, and that's still your sister. Toxic is toxic, whether it's family or not. You are allowed to walk away from people who consistently hurt you. You see, they say blood is thicker than water, but blood is not thicker than peace of mind. Can we please stop?
So, I always have to give you my part before the brothers jump in. So, my daughter, 24, 2 kids, I get it. Want to tell herself about her self-esteem. This is what she's telling herself. Connects with somebody who's not equally yoked. And what I mean is, if you grow up in a 2-family home, I don't care if it's perfect, but if you grow up in a 2-family home and you start messing around with somebody who grew up in a 1-family home, that person can't comprehend your lifestyle. You grow up with parents who give you or provide the things you want. Even if the mom and dad live in a different place, as long as you got a mama and daddy in your life who's consistent, who's there for you all the time, who's providing for you, who's doing that, and you start dating somebody who granny raised them, who mom is on drugs, who manipulative because he's manipulating his granny them because he's trying to make granny feel bad because his mama ain't around. They ain't got nothing to do with him. He ain't never been in his mama's life. Mama didn't raise him. Granny raised him. That's her child. It is just because the woman had her. That thing is, you can be a surrogate. There's all kind of surrogate mothers in this world. And kids tend to pull from the negative. And then if you got somebody who got low self-esteem, they hook up with somebody else with low self-esteem. And then they're mad at you, make you mad at your parents because your parents providing everything they need. Your parents is a support system. Your parents is helping you get a car, helping you with a place, helping taking care of your kids. But negative Sam over here who don't got no job, who ain't got no education, who ain't got no car, who ain't got no license, who ain't got no diploma, wants you to feel bad because your family is treating you better. Want you, oh, your family manipulators, your family, yes. I have manipulated you to go to school, get a job, take care of your responsibility, take care of your car, pay your bills on time, and become a productive citizen in the world. If that's what negative Sam saying, then I'm manipulating you. And I'm sorry, I'm manipulating you so you can be a productive citizen and you don't have to depend on nobody else but yourself. And thank God you got parents who will help you, who will be there for you. So now, to me, I'm telling you, don't deal with negative people at all. I don't care if it's mama, daddy, sister, brother. And I learned, my parents was 15 and 17 when they came to California. They met at 15. She was pregnant at 15. He was 17. They moved to California. They eventually got married when she turned 16 and then he turned 18. They got married. They had their first baby in July after they met. And after they met 1 year later, she had a baby. But he stepped up. He married her because of his insecurities. Thank God for insecurities, because they had 14 kids and I'm the 12th one. And every single body in my family, I'll say 90% of my family was negative. Out of 10 boys, I'm the only one that graduated. Only one went to college. I think it's me and another brother, Charlie, who passed away. I've been married 44 years. This month on Valentine's Day, my wife's birthday, best friend Dwayne, rest in peace, birthday. We'll be together 46 years. And we've been married 44 years. So, hey, I get negativity. But me, I ain't about to be negative. And I'm not dealing with toxic people. And if toxic people go too far, I'm calling the police and filing a police report. Yep, said it. Believe me, I will file a police report, 1, to protect me, and 2, to help you. So I will file a police report. You are not going to be negative around me. I see too many family members see their loved ones in negative situations and they don't step up. And then when that crazy person kill them, they want to, I should have, could have. No, too late. They dead. You knew Pookie was crazy. You should have got her away from him. And she knew he was crazy. Her fist didn't just keep running. Her eye didn't keep running into the refrigerator door. Her eye didn't run into the cabinet door. He was beating on her. And you should have got her up out of that situation. If she didn't have enough sense to do it as a father, you better step up. I tell my daughters, my 2 daughters, 1 ain't even got to worry about it. She ain't dating. She ain't even thinking about dating. She all about her education, getting her life together, traveling, doing all kind of stuff. The other one, I don't know, whatever. But I tell each individual, whoever she date, whatever's going on, check this out. You're going to respect my daughter taking care of her kids. You're going to respect my daughter because it's my daughter. And what you're not going to do is put your hands on you. And if it become a domestic, verbal, physical, mental, or emotional relationship, separate. And I will personally file a police report from what I saw. So I don't do toxic. And if y'all want to talk about it, let's talk about it. Because some people, oh, it's your mama. Oh, it's your sister. That's still your brother. That's still your auntie. Listen, anybody who negative, I ain't fooling with you. I hear you out, and that might be your last conversation. And I'm not erasing your number. I'm saving it so I can block you. That's why I'm saving that number. I'm saving that number. I'm going to block you. And when I see you and you be like, oh, I called you and my number just went straight to voicemail. Really? That is amazing to me. Every time you call, it go to voicemail. Every time I call, it go to voicemail. My peace of mind. I love my peace of mind. And you know why? Because I had a heart attack. Because I am a gallbladder removed. And I'm not going to let nobody hurt me. No, I'm not doing it. I got beat up too many times being young. And when I started defending myself, everybody want to call me crazy. Call me what you want to. Fifth Agreement says it's a projection of who they are. That's what it is. It's a projection. This man was sitting at the pool for 30-some years, and the disciples came, and the first thing he started doing was complaining. That's the thing I don't get. I hear people all the time, oh, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Entirely impossible if you're in a twin bed and it's against the wall. When you wake up, the Bible says when your eye gates open, and I'm paraphrasing, and paraphrasing means, I'm just kind of putting a 10 on a 2. When your eye gates open, you ought to enter his gates with thanksgiving. And you ought to enter his courts with praise. What that mean? When my eye gates open, I ought to thank God for eyes to see. Thank God for a nose to breathe. Thank God for a mouth to talk. Thank God for ears to hear. Thank God for the activities and use of my limbs, the blood running warm in my vein. Before I start talking to anybody, I hit some gospel music, positive gospel music, not begging, struggling gospel music, positive gospel music. Hit that gospel music, and I get started listening to that gospel music even before me and my wife start talking. Get in that bathroom and singing some gospel music, brushing my teeth, washing my face, getting ready to hit the shower. Why? Because I'm going to be as positive. Melanie from Boston said, we have the right to exercise tough love. And truth be told, the people who truly love you will tell you the truth. You need help. And listen, nobody told me I needed help because everybody I knew was negative. So I had to figure out I needed help. So I think only Anthony's still here. AL, you got any comment? How you doing this morning, AL? If he don't speak up, he must be busy. But I got it. Today, this is a topic I love. And yeah, I love this topic. And the reason I love this topic, because we got to get to the place of quit playing. And if we see toxicity, if that's a word, if we see it, let's do something about it. Don't just let people stay in their toxic behavior. If you don't want to tell them, for whatever reason, I know, mama been screaming and hollering her whole life. They've been disrespectful your whole life. Mad at you because you got an education. Do you know people get mad at you when you change your life? Oh, you think you better than me. No, you just think less of yourself. People don't want you to get your life together. People like failures. You know what I'm saying? I made a conscious decision. I was pastoring. For 16 years. And after I had my heart attack, I had first my brother passed, then I had a heart attack, and then I had a heart attack January 31st or January 30th. Then my brother passed on Valentine's Day, my wife's birthday and our anniversary. And then after I preached his funeral, my gallbladder had to be removed. And then I think I had a grandbaby born, 1 pound, 6 ounces. And I just had all kind of stuff going on in my life, right? At that moment, I started deciding it's time to make a change. You know, that same year, my mom passed away. We was all at a funeral. Chaos. Black families seem to have a tendency, and I don't know because I'm only black. My DNA says I'm Moroccan, but have a tendency to tell you about yourself when somebody died. All the stuff they've been wanting to tell you. When somebody died, they finna tell you, and they're gonna use that as an excuse. Anyway, mom passed away. We have a funeral on a Saturday. On the 31st, no, the 30th, me and my older sister go to church. I pick her up. We go to church. Yeah, I get it. You got to be straightforward. On the 31st, on the 30th, we went to church. 31st was our wedding anniversary. My mom, we had to bury my mom on the 31st. We didn't hear from my sister on the 1st. 31st, we didn't hear from her on the 31st. We didn't hear from her on the 1st. On the 2nd, she passed away. Then had to go through that drama again, preach her funeral. A few weeks later, father-in-law passed. A few weeks later, other stuff. I decided at that point in my life, I'm leaving California. I'm going to pray for y'all for the ministry because I'm out. I'm out. I'm telling y'all, I'm out. I thought I was going to leave in May. I kept going back and forth to North Carolina. Only knew one person here. And I told the Lord the last time I was in Charlotte, North Carolina, I said, Lord, if I don't find a house today, when I get back on that plane, I ain't never coming back to Charlotte. 5th time there, on my way to the airport, somebody called me, found the house, got the house, and flew back home. That was in May. My son and his ex called me, hey, we got a surprise for y'all. Don't do nothing in July. First of all, it's May. In July, I'm out of here. Or May, I'm out of here. My wife begged me to stay. I stayed. Young lady was like, hey, I didn't want you to preach our wedding. I was like, I didn't want to preach your wedding because I didn't plan on being here. And the only reason I'm at your wedding is because my wife asked me to stay. Because if it was up to me, I'd be living in Charlotte, North Carolina, because I have a house waiting on me. July the 7th, I come to church and preach. Well, I have praise and worship. We have testimony. Now, we get out of church at 1 o'clock. So testimony probably started at 11. If you don't know what testimony is when the Bible says you overcome by the testimonies of the saints. People getting up. Oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do if you leave. Oh my God, I don't know. I said, listen, it's 11:45. I appreciate all of y'all testimonies. By 12:30, I'm going to preach. By 12:45, we're going to have an altar call. By 1 o'clock, I'm out of here. Oh my God, I don't know. Is this really what the Lord telling you to do? Oh my God. Anyway, I preach at 12:30, 12:45. We have altar call. 1 o'clock. I'm done. Hugging the people, loving on the people. Hey, this is going to be y'all new pastor, whatever. Go to my son's wedding around 3 o'clock. Go to his reception around 6 o'clock. And 7 o'clock on July the 7th, 2013, I drive 40 hours with my brother, Anwar Muhammad, to Charlotte, North Carolina. And I'm excited, y'all. I come to Charlotte, North Carolina. I get in the house, literally. I walk in the house, and where I go to sleep, I get a couple people to help me. By the time he wakes up, my whole house is together. And he couldn't believe it. I'm talking my whole house. Every single thing in my house. The table set up, the bed set up, every single thing is set up. I'm ready. I'm ready. And I've been living in Charlotte since July, I said late 8th, well, it was 40 hours later. So it's probably July the 9th, 2013. And God has blessed me tremendously. I lost 123 pounds. I have nothing. I take no pills. I take a few vitamins. But other than that, I'm in good health. God is taking care of me. God has shown up for me. And God shows off for me. And like I said, I'm the 12th child of 14. My wife, the first of 14. So I don't do pity parties. And I don't do complaining. And that's what we want to talk about today. Toxic people. And all of us got some toxic family members. And this young man said, can we stop normalizing? Can we stop normalizing toxic people? Check this out.
Can we please stop telling people, well, that's still your mom, that's still your dad, or that's still your brother, and that's still your sister? Toxic is toxic, whether it's family or not. You are allowed to walk away from people who consistently hurt you. You see, they say blood is thicker than water, but blood is not thicker than peace of mind. Can we please stop telling people?
So that's what I'm talking about. Blood is not thicker than peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited. I'm excited. I don't know my crew yet, but hey, this topic, I can talk about this topic my whole day by myself. What's up, Will? You got a comment?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you fine, man.
All right. I had watched the video while I was in the gym because it went through the group chat. So, and I started having this conversation in the sauna with my workout partner. So for me, I definitely believe that you should treat people how you want to be treated, which is what it says in the Bible. But I'm also a strong believer in the fact that if something is not feeding you in some capacity, you do have to cut it off. And I think that you and this is what we was just talking about, sidebar. I think that there's things that you have to cut off that don't feed you, but there's certain ways that you cut it off. So some things are super extreme, like, hey, if it's messing up my energy, I can't be around it, etc. But there's certain things. So I'll just use this as an example. So my mom, there's 7 of them total, right?
Okay.
And I have an aunt that is 4 years older than me. And my family moved to California. We didn't have no family support here. So I spent my summers in the Midwest because I'm originally from the Midwest. So I grew up between Iowa and California for the most part. And so in short, I have one aunt has no children, but she goes through life giving bad advice. Everybody has one. Me and my wife had this conversation all the time. Those people, and sometimes it's an auntie, sometimes it's an uncle, sometimes it's a sibling. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on who it is in your space. But like for me, that individual specifically, I have a close relationship with that side of the family, but there's boundaries for that specific individual. I'm not taking no advice from you. I'm not taking nothing from you. There's nothing you can help me with. Even if I'm at the bottom low, you're the last person I'm calling. You get what I'm saying? But I don't voice that in all arenas. There are certain
Okay.
people that know that, like my mom knows that, my wife knows that, but no one else in the family will probably know that because I will sit listen to you talk. You know what I mean?
Right,
But
right.
I'm not going to absorb it because it takes too much energy, and that's just the reality of it. But I also feel like, and this is something that I have to do regularly, unfortunately. And I had this conversation with somebody last night. Um, there's transactional relationships that you do have to facilitate certain capacities,
Okay.
but you have to you have to, and I shouldn't say you because I'm talking about myself. You have
Right.
to you have to know what those transactional relationships are, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
You get what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's like anything in regular life. Most of us have professional careers, so we'll just use that as an example. Most professional careers are transactional. You know what I'm saying? I'll just using myself as an example. I have a few people in my professional environment that would probably consider me, and I'm not even gonna say consider, I know this to be factual. They consider me to be their friend, but we not friends.
Right. Preach, bro.
We
Preach.
co-workers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We co-workers, but I facilitate certain things because I know that these relationships are transactional. You know what I'm saying? But I think you have to get yourself in a mental space for that. And I think over a period of time, it's just built over time. You know what I mean? But I am also a strong believer in every situation, regardless what that situation is. You can learn something from that situation. So every conversation you have, you should be able to take something out of the context of the conversation, regardless what the conversation is. That's just my 2 cents.
Hey, and this is the part right here when it said don't take anything personal. The fifth agreement says nothing others do is because of you. What others say or do is a projection of their own reality, their own dreams. When you are immune to the opinion of others, actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. And I think too many of us, and I really appreciate that because Deshaun just came in. So it's a few people just chimed in. So let them hear. And good morning, Chris, too, and Deshaun. But this is what we're talking about. Listen here, y'all.
Can we please stop telling people, well, that's still your mom, that's still your dad, or that's still your brother, and that's still your sister? Toxic is toxic, whether it's family or not. You are allowed to walk away from people who consistently hurt you. You see, they say blood is thicker than water, but blood is not thicker than peace of mind. Can we?
Did you get that? And check this out. This is what the scripture said. This is totally, on point, man. Jeremiah 33:3 says, call to me and I will answer and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know. John 5:4 said, from time to time, an angel of the Lord will come down and stir up the water. The first one into the pool after each such disturbance will be cured in whatever disease he had. There was a man sitting at that pool for 30 some years. And the disciples came up to him and they said, silver and gold, we have none, but we can bless you. We can pray for you and you can take up your bed and walk. The first thing the dude said, this is how toxic people work. I've been sitting here 30 years and nobody has helped me get in the pool, but somebody did get you dressed. Somebody did carry you to the pool for 30 years. All you had to do was scoop and fall in the pool. But instead of you getting in the pool, instead of you receiving your blessing, and they bless you anyway. But again, Deshaun, again, Chris, we're talking about you should walk away from toxic people. Let's talk about it because I got a lot to say. But Deshaun or Chris, go ahead.
No, I'll jump in. He did say, my sister is my sister. I mean, I know my mom always tell me you gotta love your family members no matter what. I'm like, as much as her brother uh like does crazy stuff to her, like right now she's living in one of his homes and he's like, well, knowing she in a bad situation, like, you gotta find you somewhere to stay because I make more money with Airbnb. I said, dang, that's crazy. I
So this is my thing.
can't hear you. So I think I got muted.
Okay, no. Can you hear me now? All right, hang up and call back. Call back. Let me tell him to call back. But hey, Anthony, Chris, what about you? Chris, can you hear me? Anthony Lewis, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Deshaun.
I can't hear you though, Shaq.
Okay, call me back. I just text you.
I can hear you.
Go ahead, Chris.
I'm on a run, so Mr.
Okay.
Anthony, he can
Man, I
go
can't
first.
hear nothing.
Go ahead, Ant.
I got log out, log back in.
Anthony.
Yo.
All right, you got to come in on that.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I had lost service for a little bit. What were you talking about? The toxic?
Yeah, that's what we're talking. We're talking about the
I can't
toxic
hear
situation.
nothing.
Click
yeah.
out and click back in. Go ahead, Deshaun. I got to tell Deshaun to call back in. But I don't know which number it is. Here, call back. Call back. Call back. Deshaun, call back. I don't think he hear me. I think he frozen. I'll send him out. But anyway, we gotta quit allowing toxic people to talk crazy. So Deshaun, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I couldn't hear you at first. I had to click out and jump back in.
That's what I was telling you. You got to check your text because I'll text you if something's going on. But so your uncle realized your mom's situation, and he supposed to be her brother. And I'm sure your mom then gave him plenty passes. Listen,
Yeah.
at some point in your life, it's certain people you just got to cut off. I ain't saying you have to talk bad to them. You don't have to say nothing negative to them. All you got to do is just realize, like, I save people number in my phone just to block them.
I mean,
people, every time they call me, every time I call you, my phone go to voicemail. I don't even comment.
I had to cut my sister off. Like, she I don't know what love she got for this dude. She let him, like, dude stole my TV. She done went and married him. I ain't gonna lie, when I saw him in the street, thank God I didn't get a chance. Because I tried to take his head up.
We don't want you to do nothing to harm him, but realize, and you got to realize this, bro. The fifth agreements, and everybody should read this book, The 5 Agreements. Be impeccable with your words, speak with integrity, say only what you mean, avoid using words to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your words in the direction of truth and love. Don't take anything personal. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say or do is a projection of their own reality, their own dreams. When you are immune to the opinion and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. And don't make assumptions. Don't assume just because, listen, people come from different walks of life, and everybody understanding is not the same. I was talking to someone the other day, and they told me, "Oh, I love your daughter." What is your definition of love? Because you got a 4-month-old baby. You ain't bought him nothing since he's been born. No milk, no financial contribution, nothing. But I want to spend time with my baby. For what? What are you spending time with him for? What are y'all gonna do? He 4 months. You with him. You ain't give him nothing to eat. You ain't bought him nothing to drink, and you just want to play with him. And 99.9% of the time when you're with him, you're asleep. What is your purpose being in the child's life? Oh, I'm his daddy. What does that even mean? When you are a parent, I don't care what's going on in your life. There's a thing called
And
responsibility.
he went out again.
You got to call back. There's a thing called responsibility. And if you are not responsible, quit taking on a title. There's a lot of people who take titles. I know people all the time who take titles. They crackheads or alcoholics, and somebody else raised their kids. and they want to come around and say, oh, I'm your mama, I'm your dad. So what? You had me. You're a surrogate. You didn't raise me. You didn't feed me. You did nothing for me my whole life. That title mother does not belong to you. That title father don't belong to you. Whoever stepped up, if it's your auntie, if it's your cousin, if it's your granny, your mama, your grandfather, your daddy, that other person is a surrogate. You owe them nothing. You can have them in your life if you choose to, but the truth of the matter is they abandoned you for drugs. They abandoned you for alcohol. They abandoned you for some reason. So why are you allowing these toxic people to continue to be in your life? Why are you letting these negative people be in your life? You enjoy drama? You like drama? Because there are some people who love drama. There are some people who love drama. People who love negativity, love arguing, love fighting. I just told somebody the other day, I have a problem with people who are overweight. They messy. They messy. All they do is complain. All they do is start drama. They messy. Go to a beauty shop. Look who the messiest person in there. That overweight person. Oh, look at her skinny behind. Like, well, maybe she healthy. Maybe she enjoyed being skinny. Look at that. And I tell people all the time, I don't deal with negativity. I'm sorry. You could be my son. I'm not dealing with you. I'll love you. I'll pray for you, but I ain't fooling with you. And if that hurts your feelings, I'm sorry.
Man, that thing is not.
Go ahead. Are you there? Oh, phone dropped. Chris, you still running? Anthony Lewis, you still there? I know Will listening in. Go ahead. Deshaun is going to win the award for the most person who's clicking in and out. Go ahead, Deshaun.
No, it just like it won't let me stay. Like I lose your voice, but no, my I know what you mean. Like my ex, and I saw the beauty in her soul, not her size. But she has a real, and she don't really want to face that.
Wait a
She
minute.
has a problem.
Stop. You see the beauty in her soul, not her size.
Yeah, but she won't accept that the fact that she's been an overweight person her whole life.
All you gotta do is spit on the scale or get naked.
No, when she used to go to the doctor, she used to literally turn her head. She didn't want to see how much she weighed. But she talk about people all the time, though.
Listen, bro. When I was fat, I knew I was fat. I ain't gonna be playing no games. She turned her head. That ain't stopping her from eating them chips in the middle of the night. Bro, I respect that. I love her mind and not her. I apologize, bro. Go ahead. I think his phone froze again. Oh my God, Deshaun, I gotta love you for saying that, bro.
No, I'm saying, but she talk about people all the time, and I'm like, man, you're making up for your insecurity is to put other people down and be offensive.
And that's what negative people do. That's what toxic people do. Instead of deal with their own situation. And toxic people do that all the time. Toxic people talk about people, say stuff about people. Will said it best. He said, I got a person and they know their place. And if they don't know their place, I'm going to tell them their place. Hey, y'all, I definitely got to call Glenn so he can constantly work on this. We have no idea why we keep dropping. And I apologize, but as much as possible, just let's stay with this conversation. And I'm telling you right now, he just flew in from overseas, and he a little tired. And I'm gonna tell him that everybody keep getting kicked off. So I'm texting him right now. But yeah, I know a lot of people who I don't mess with because they're messy. Like people will call me and tell me what other people said about me. I used to be so concerned. Like, what did you say about? What did you say? I didn't say nothing. I quit.
Yeah, you did.
No, you're a part of the problem. You are the problem. When people call me and talk about people, good morning, Benita. When people call me and talk about people, I'm like, hey, listen, I don't have that type of relationship with this individual. But after reading the Fifth Agreement, when they start talking about people, it is a projection of their own reality and their own dreams. So the reality part is they're jealous of that individual. I'm telling you, when I first lost weight, people used to inbox me and tell me they praying for me because for my cancer. I'm like, what cancer? The cancer was obesity. I ain't got no cancer. I don't have to take medicine. I don't have to do anything. I work out, do what I'm supposed to do because I personally don't deal with negative people. And we got a few more people who joined in. Let me let them hear what we're talking about. I don't know who this is.
Man, Shaq, I heard that when I lost weight, people was like, "Man, you okay, man? You need something?" I'm like, "What?"
Hey, bro, you don't get it. Let me finish this on real quick for other people can hear it. This is what we're talking about, y'all.
Stop telling people, well, that's still your mom, that's still your dad, or that's still your brother, and that's still your sister. Toxic is toxic, whether it's family or not. You are allowed to walk away from people who consistently hurt you. You see, they say blood is thicker than water, but blood is not thicker than peace of mind. Can we please?
You see that? Even in church, we deal with church. I got a friend, and Deshaun know who that friend is. That friend. And literally, I had to, well, they stopped talking to me. And that was like one of the best things that could have ever happened to me in life.
Yeah, we talked about it, but even though when I was talking to you, it was coming from a place of hurt.
I get it. And only reason people can hurt you because you give them too much power to hurt you. I remember all my family who didn't like me. I used to be hurt. Oh my God, I wish they talked to me. Oh my God. Bro, after I read the Fifth Agreements, I'm really being a Christian today because I'll tell you what I really want to tell them. But what I'm doing, I realize that it is a projection of them. It has nothing to do with me. Silly. It has nothing to do with me. It's a projection of who they are and the things that they're dealing with. So I don't care what nobody think of me. What people think of me is none of my business. None Shaq, whatsoever.
But Shaq, I told you I prayed, to God for forgiveness for saying what I said, even though it just it took 40 years for me to say it.
I'm just saying, why are you asking God to forgive you for the truth? That's all I'm saying. If that's your reality, why do you gotta ask for forgiveness if that's your reality?
I don't know. It's like my mom always told me to respect my parent.
Okay, I get that. You're not disrespecting the individual. You're saying, I'm not dealing with your toxicity anymore. Enough is enough. At what point do enough become enough? Just because you're my parent, you can talk to me any kind of way. You can treat me any kind of way. You can say anything you want about me because you're my parent. No, that doesn't work for me.
And it's not just me, just like he did, like y'all are his friends.
Well, I ain't gonna say was. All I'm gonna say is I stepped out of that situation, and that situation is not a part of my life anymore.
But that's why everybody believes it, is because it's like everybody that comes into this person's life get the same treatment. It's not about, it's no love.
Okay, but at some point, it don't have nothing to do with love. That person don't love themselves. And because you don't love yourself, I'm not putting myself with a person who don't love themselves. You don't love yourself, it's cool. I get it. I'll pray for you, but I would not become a victim of your shenanigans under any circumstances. I'm not becoming your victim because you're insecure with who you are. And because you're insecure with who you are, I'm going to pray for you. That's about it. That's all you're gonna get from me is prayer. You ain't get no more, nothing else. I'm gonna pray for you. That's it. And I think too many times we get people past when we shouldn't. And then we ask God, oh my God, God, please forgive me. For what? Letting this person hurt me? You mean to tell me this person, every time I see this person, you're going to kick me. And every time you kick me, I'm going to ask, I'm sorry you kicked me. Nah, bro, you ain't going to keep kicking me and it's okay. Nope, that ain't happening. So if we don't have to be in each other's life, praise God. Because I ain't having it no more. I'm not dealing with nothing that's toxic in my life, period. And if you
Bro,
choose to continue being in toxicity, praise God, bro. That's my dad. I want her to be in my life. That's my sister. I want her to be in my life. Nah, I'm cool. I don't want nothing negative in my life. And that's what I choose. And if you choose to be abused, that's like the abused woman. She keep getting beat up. Oh, I made him mad. Made him mad? Come on now. You can't make nobody mad. You can't make nobody do nothing that they don't want to. And that's what I'm talking about. In this thing called toxicity, in this thing, listen, quit allowing people to disrespect you because you want them to be a part of your life. For what? Why are you keeping these people around in your life? Help me. What benefit are they bringing to your life? What benefit? I want anybody to please answer. What benefit is this individual bringing into your life?
none. I've been
Okay.
promised a car since I graduated from high school.
Okay. So why is the person still in your life then? This is
That's
my
right.
question.
And
Why
I
is
got
this
you.
person?
I got you a car in the house before you got me one.
Okay. Now, once again, I'm asking you the same question. Why is this individual a part of your life?
Oh no, I cut ties, man. I had to.
But I'm saying, why did you hold on to it that long? That's my question.
Struggling for, like you said, struggling for that attention and that love.
And you know that your life would have been better if you would have loved yourself first.
Yeah.
If you would have loved yourself, forgave yourself, apologized to yourself, started respecting yourself, you wouldn't have been going through all of that. A lot of times we love people who are unlovable. Let's keep it real. There are people in our life who are totally unlovable. They don't even love themselves. And you trying to love them. You're doing them a disservice. You are doing them a total disservice. And I see Anthony joined in. Chris is still on and Will is still on. Just help me. Why are we giving people power? Do we really lack love that much in our own life that we need these negative people in our life? Why are we keeping these negative people in our life? Hurting us, got us crying, got us feeling bad, don't love us. And it's not that they don't love us, they don't love themselves. They don't even know how to love. They don't even understand what love is. They're unlovable. They're trying to make people love them. They're gonna buy their love. They're gonna have money. You don't got money, and they're gonna throw their money at you to treat you like you're not human. They're gonna treat you a certain kind of way. And then they're gonna make you feel bad after they bless you with something. They're gonna talk bad about you. They're gonna tell people, I had to help them. I had to do this. I had to do that. I don't want them kind of people in my life. I don't want negative people in my life, period. I don't even deal with negative people. I'm sorry. I can't do negativity. I can't under no circumstances. And I feel sorry for anybody who think they have to have negative people in their life. I feel sorry. And, Chris or Anthony, any of y'all at any point, y'all can step up, y'all can speak. So, let me know how you feel. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what your feelings about what I'm saying, or about how you feel about this whole family dynamic, or why do you think we should keep negative people in our life? Why we should keep allowing people to say and do anything to us, all in the name of love. That's what I think it's called. People do stuff because they want to be loved. People do all this stuff because they want somebody to say, I love you. But if you love yourself, you don't need nothing from these people. You don't need anything from them. You don't need them to be in your life. You don't have to just accept anything. You don't have to accept anything, and you don't have to accept anybody. And that's where I'm at in life. I'm at a place in my life that I'm not accepting negativity. I'm not accepting foolishness. I'm not accepting shenanigans. As much as I love Deshaun and Daniel, the person who helped created them, I ain't fooling with you.
Right. I know this was a great topic though. Shaq, I gotta walk into the Spectrum office, man. I can't wait to get me a better job.
All right, bro. I'll talk to you later. You have a good one.
All right. You too.
Melanie, I think Melanie needs to join us live because she be having some great. All right, Deshaun, you have a great one. She be having some great stuff. Being an approval, seeking a mindset can cause you to keep negative people in your life. Man, I gotta ask Glenn how I can add Melanie on here for she can come in and talk, because I be loving the stuff she say, because she with it. She understands it, she gets it, and I don't know how to get her on here, but I need to figure out a way when we had these conversations how to get her to join us. And because she's on Glenn Live, Glenn would have to invite her. Go ahead. Who just came on unmuted? Anthony Lewis, go ahead.
I was just thinking right now, when you spoke about the young lady who just chimed in, she has a lot of great things to say. I can't say anything about negativity because I've never been negative. So, it's like I can't tell you what it is to give birth to a child. I never gave birth. I don't know what the labor pains feel like. I don't know. They could tell me that it hurts. They could tell me, but I don't know I've never been a negative person. And I don't allow negative people around me. I'll cut you off quick. And whether you want to call it my fault, you can do whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. I just don't have it in my circle. I don't have it in my circle because I'm in control of my circle. I'm in control of what I want around me, when I want around me, and I don't want negativity around me. So for me to say, well, I understand negative people, no, I don't. I'll be lying to you because I don't understand them. They have their own language. They have their own way of thinking. I don't understand that. I don't understand it, and I don't try to. You know how when you say, oh, you know what? I like to learn Italian. I like to learn French. I never want to learn the language of negativity.
Hey, bro. So do they know?
It's not a desire for me to learn the negativity language. It's
do they know?
A desire.
Do they know?
I don't care whether they know. I don't care whether they know or don't know. That's their business. Just stay out of my business. Because it's not about, I mean, you know what? Let's keep it real. A lot of folks don't understand. We ain't guaranteed the next day. Stop playing. Stop playing. We ain't guaranteed. And let's keep it another 100. Men, you know what I'm saying? What's the longevity? 85, 75? Women, a little longer. But you're not guaranteed that if you don't stop the processed foods. And, that's a whole different subject. But we ain't guaranteed to live. Why is you stuck on negativity? Well, I know why I'm not, because I prosper without it. So why would I take away from my prosperity as far as spiritually, mentally, physically, financially? And why would I add something that's going to subtract it from it. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it ain't gonna be in my life. People, you're gonna always have negative people around you, but not in your circle. Outside of your circle, negativity is gonna always try to penetrate. But that's the grace of God. That's the mercy of God. That's the power of God. That's the shield of God that keeps it out of your life, because you have a discernment to know the difference between negative and inquisitive. It's two different things. You know, when people ask questions and people do this, or people, because they really might not know. Like you just said, do they know they're negative? Well, let them ask another negative person. What would another negative person say to a negative person? No, you're not negative. Of course not, because you guys have the same reality. You know, so
Right.
y'all go over there and play. I'm just leave me alone.
Hey, man, listen. I think first, Melody, again, Boston, we got to say, hey, I appreciate you. She said she's at work, so she couldn't join in. And she's glad we're here. But I think negative people are attracted to you because they really realistically in their mind, they want to be positive. And as hard as we try, some people you try to help, until an individual begin to appreciate who they are, until an individual appreciate that God gave me this one body, right? God gave me this one life, and I'm going to be a good steward over this life. God gave me this wife, and she's willing to deal with me and my drama. I'm willing to deal with her and hers. You know what I'm saying? These kids I pray for, I got to be a good steward over these kids. I gotta, the only way my kids can be negative if I'm negative. Well, that's not true. But the majority of the time, because if I train them up in the way that they should go, the Bible says when they get old, they won't depart from the training. You know what I'm saying? So they won't depart from their training. So you train them the right way, and when they get older, they won't be negative. They might, a certain way, they might get some stuff in their life. They might talk about stuff, but at the end of the day, they're different. You know what I'm saying? And so let me use, for example, again, I know I shouldn't be talking. I'm talking about it because I can't. My daughter grew up with two parents her whole life. Two parents, mother and father, great home. My wife probably poured more into the daughters, and I poured more into the sons because I don't understand what it is to be a daughter. I've always been there, always stepped up to the plate. I'm not the huggy, lovey. I'm not all that. I'm just pretty much, hey, I love you. Hey, good morning. Let's hold hands. Let's pray together. I'm all that, right? But I'm not all that mushy stuff. It just probably started when baby Alex and this baby, grandkids. I don't know why it happened with grandkids, not older kids. And maybe they're seeking, sometimes your kids are seeking attention. They be the middle child, and that attention thing is serious. I don't know about you, but ask any middle child, they'll tell you the child not the oldest, the child not the youngest, and then it becomes a battle. Because I know when my son was the youngest, and then my daughter came, they had this love-hate relationship. And then another child came, and she was the middle child. So I get it. I understand there's a middle child syndrome. I get that. But some people strive or need attention. And as a parent, you try to do your very best to give as much attention to all of your kids. You try to do the very best. You try to give them things that you didn't even have when you was growing up. Like my fault, my kids spoiled. All 9 of them. Spoiled. Rotten. And it's my fault because I grew up poor, and my goal was I'm going to give my kids everything I didn't get. Mistake. That was a reason I didn't get it. Mistake. So my kids feel privileged. So the one daughter entertained someone who was raised by his grandparents, still never graduated from high school, don't have a diploma, don't have a driver's license, don't have a car, live in the house with a whole bunch of other negative people, and negative. So when he gets mad at her, because now she's not giving him a ride in the car, now you're not taking advantage of her no more, she realized you ain't finna take advantage of me no more. You ain't finna use me no more. Now he's mad, getting family involved, and then drama. And I explained to her, listen, this is what negative people do. They get with other negative people who don't like you. So I keep getting these texts, right? I finally read the text. Yeah, I don't like your daughter. I'm 60 years old. And if I have to pull up to your house, me and my kids, I immediately call her. She going on and on and on and on. And I said, if you pull up to my house, you don't have a problem with my daughter no more. Well, he said you and your wife are nice people. I said, again, and you don't know me. And I said, listen, if you pull up to my house, you and my daughter don't have a problem no more. Now you got a problem with me. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to file a police report to protect you. Because when you pull up to my house and I call the police, they're going to arrest you immediately. Then her daughter started texting. I Googled her phone number. I said, all this stuff that you just put in my text, you own a business. And I'm going to put that in your Yelp, and I'm going to put that in your Google, and I'm going to file a police report against you. Because at 64 years old, I ain't finna fight and argue with no people. Where I live at, I call the police. They're going to be here in 2.2 seconds. So I don't have to deal with negativity. I'm not dealing with nothing negative. I'm not dealing with no negative people. I'm not dealing with anything negative. And if somebody don't like it, I get it. Praise God. I appreciate you. I love you, but I will not be dealing with nothing that's negative. And so, again, I'm trying to find it. Our topic today is, do you continue? And I just need to know, because there are people, well, that's my brother, this is my sister. So this is our topic.
Can we please stop telling people, well, that's still your mom, that's still your dad, or that's still your brother, and that's still your sister? Toxic is toxic, whether it's family or not. You are allowed to walk away from people who consistently hurt you. You see, they say blood is thicker than water, but blood is not thicker than peace of mind. Can we please stop telling people, well, that's still...
Blood is not thicker than peace of mind. And this is what Melanie said. She said, I literally have to tell someone that they are straight up negative. It was very difficult to do that, but I needed to get it across to them. And like you just said, they want to be positive. I'm already seeing a shift in that person since then. And then she said, thinking you're stuck is sad. At the end of the day, only we can get ourselves unstuck. There are books like this, The Fifth Agreement. You can read these books. And if you are stuck, because some people you meet, I always been like this, I'm going to be like this for the rest of my life. I ain't going to never change. People literally believe that. The Bible says you're snared by the words of your mouth. You know, the man who was sitting at the pool, who has been there for 36 years, the prophets came to pray for him. And when they asked him, what do you need? Because silver and gold, we don't have none. He said, I've been at this pool 36 years. Look, what do you want? I understand you've been at the pool, but what do you want? And what Jesus had to tell him? Because Jesus got tired of listening to his negativity. He said, take up your bed and walk. The man got up, took up his bed and walked. Then people started seeing him walking. How did you walk? Hey, somebody prayed for me. Oh, you weren't supposed to get healed on the Sabbath. I've been here 36 years. I can't get healed on the Sabbath. And then he started believing what these people started talking to him about. At some point in your life, all that ghetto stuff, all that negative stuff, all that drama, at some point in your life, you got to make a conscious decision. I don't care if it's your mama, I don't care if it's your daddy, I don't care if it's your wife, your girlfriend, your brother, your sister, your children. At some point, you got to step back and be like, I ain't bringing on that negativity in my life. And you know why? Because negativity will make you sick. Negative stuff will kill you. If you talk negative so long, you will mess up your own life. You will mess up your peace. You will mess up every single thing that's going on in your life. God trying to bless you and you sick. Why? Because you're negative. You sick. You are literally sick because you're negative. Somebody just took themselves off. Will, go ahead, man.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
So, and this is for the group in general. I'd like to hear some other people's opinion on this. Is it what you just described, isn't that an accountability issue? Doing the work from the inside out?
Yes, sir. He said he wants some comments from y'all. Y'all go ahead. Because I can talk about this all day.
Well, accountability, you're 100% correct, Will. It's hand in hand, because if a person don't know how to be accountable, apparently they have an issue with it being their fault, right? And they're always looking at everybody else in a negative manner, and their self is nothing wrong with them, right? Their stuff don't stink, right? And they're not going to be held accountable because it must be your fault. But when does it become a common denominator? You know what I'm saying? Why is everybody's fault and it's never it? So the individual keeps getting different groups of people because the old group already caught on to their shenanigans and knowing something's wrong, you know. So now their new group is snared by their tongue of that individual that's unaccountable, not holding accountability for themselves. So now the new group, and then what happened to this new group? Oh, the new group finds out. Well, guess what? All these groups don't have discernment, because you should be able to tell the truth. You should be able to hear it. You know what I'm saying, Will? We should be able to understand. Like, wait, hold on. You know, it don't sound kosher. You know what I'm saying? Everything that's glitters not gold. You know, a lot of times and I think it was a young lady who's online who said a lot of times people are searching for that. You know, they're searching all in the wrong places. And when an end of Will, I just, you know what? That's another person I stay away from. A person that's doesn't want to take accountability for nothing. You got to stay away from him, man. That's a good thing right there. You talk about, Will.
Hold on, let me let y'all hear it one more time. Listen, here we go. This is our topic today. Hold on a second.
Still your dad, or that's still your brother, and that's still your sister. Toxic is toxic, whether it's family or not. You are allowed to walk away from people who consistently hurt you. You see, they say blood is thicker than water, but blood is not thicker than peace of mind. Can we?
What if people, and I like Will coming, what if people are attracted to negativity? Because there are people who are attracted to positive, and there's people who are attracted to negativity. Like, everybody you date is negative. Everybody you hang around is negative. You know, I got a nephew. He'll call me and tell me all the negative stuff people said about me. And when he said, I said, yeah, you know, a couple people called and asked me about you. And he gets shocked. He's like, well, what did you say? I said, oh, I told him you was a good person. And they didn't want to talk about it. And I said, a lot of times when people tell you stuff about me, they lying. He said, why? I said, because they didn't tell you the whole truth. They didn't tell you everything else I did. He's like, what are you talking about? I said, they lying to you because they didn't tell you everything else I did. So you're really not their friend. You're just somebody they can throw off on. Because the moment somebody called me and tell me what somebody said about me, I I realized what the fifth agreement said. The fifth agreement says, don't take anything personal. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dreams. When you are immune to the opinion and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. So what people think of me is really none of my business. Only thing that matters is what I think of me and what God thinks of me. And I had made a conscious decision. There are certain people I'm just not going to be around. And again, I saved their number. So they can go to voicemail. Because I don't want to accidentally answer your call. So your number is saved. Go ahead.
Well, look, you know what? Back with what Will's comment, you know, the scripture says in 2 Timothy verse 4, 3-4, you know, Paul, the Apostle Paul warns that a time is coming when people will not endure sound doctrine, but will instead seek out teachers who tell them only what they want to hear to satisfy their own desires. And that's what we're talking about.
That's itching ears, right?
That's the itching ears, right? That's the itching ears, right? And that's what, you know, folks don't want to hear they see you living a certain way.
Okay.
And they want to fit your way into their delusion, but they don't want to, you know, they don't want to change. They don't want to do what it takes to be there. They want to continue to be negative because it's comfortable, it's familiar. And it's funny because yesterday I went to go pick up an order, and it was 3 employees, and they all circled. It was foggy and cold, and they're huddled around smoking cigarettes. And like you just said earlier, negative people attract negative people.
That's
you know,
true.
and smokers, you know, I bet you in that conversation, they all related to their conversation because their mindsets are right. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was to go to that circle, we probably didn't have the same type of conversation. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, it's just weird. You know, even when we was in school, you always had the kids with the long greasy hair and you know, and it's just their demeanor and their character was just different pods of people, right? And you know, that just makes us all different, right? That's what makes us different in personality. That's what makes us different individuals, right? You know, that's what makes us unique. We all have a unique personality and unique things, but we all have I don't know, I want to say this nice, but we all have a mindset of wanting to be happy. Some people are happy with negativity. Some people feel love with negativity. I remember my ex-wife, man. She was poking me to you know to get a rise out of me, and then finally that rise came, and all she said, you know what she said? I just want you to love me. That's not how you do it. What the, you know what I'm saying? So some folks just, you're right. They just want to be loved, and they don't know how to go about receiving the love because they were raised that's love. To argue is love. You know, to fuss and
Or
fight
what's
is
their
love.
definition of love?
Well, that's their definition of love. That's
Right.
not
That's
the
right.
definition.
Haven't you noticed when we used to have family dinners at grandma's house, right? Or Big Mama house or my mama house or whoever, everybody hated to see one person come because that one person is going to cause drama with everybody. That one person. And instead of somebody just telling her, you're a negative, nobody wants you here. Everybody just let that one person disturbs everybody else's peace. And when I matured, I was like, I'm done. I ain't going over there. I'm going to stay in my house with my family where we laughing and having a good time. I ain't finna go over there and deal with them negative people at all. So let's quit normalizing toxic people. That's all the topic is today. Let's quit normalizing. I don't care if it's your mama, your daddy, your brother, your sister, your girlfriend, your baby mama, baby daddy. I don't care who it is. Let's quit.
What is toxic though, Shaq? What
Huh?
what is the definition of toxic?
Negativity, no accountability. Just say whatever's on their mind. Don't care who they hurt. Don't care what they do. Like Deshaun just got off the line. I had already dealt with some death, right? My best friend, and he's gone on to be with the Lord, Dwayne Wiggins, died. I've been knowing Deshaun Daddy maybe 35 years. Maybe. I don't know how long. Maybe 30 years, 35, 25. The person never checked on me the whole time I'm dealing with the fact my friend died. My friend who was there for my mama funeral, my sister funeral, Alex's funeral, my boy who's been with me the whole ride. When Alex was sick, I'd just go to his house, had a key, had the code to the door, everything. Came out to visit me. We just been riding since the second grade. He called somebody else and says, I'm not fooling with Shaq. This was last March, and I ain't spoke to him since. I ain't fooling with Shaq. He out here spending all this time with Dwayne. First of all, we're not a couple, not me and you. I got a wife and kids. And if it takes me forever to plan a service for my best friend and his children, I'm going to make every single sacrifice as long as my wife and kids know and they understand. It don't matter to nobody else. So the individual, I ain't speaking to him. He spent all that time with Dwayne. And he haven't spoke to me. And I haven't spoke to him. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with, and matter of fact, that's the best thing he could have ever did for me. Stop being in my life. Anytime somebody negative walk away from me, I am excited. Anytime somebody negative, I save their number and they go to voicemail. That's toxicity, no accountability, don't care who you hurt. You don't know how that thing affected me when dude died. You know what I'm saying? That affected me. I already dealt with Alex, and now my boy, we've been friends since second grade. And now I got to plan your funeral, and then I got to preach your funeral, and I got to go through shenanigans after I put the funeral together, me and the crew of people, and now I got to deal with your foolishness. You know what I'm saying? And you had the audacity to say you're not speaking to me because I spent time planning my boy's funeral. I'm good. You don't never have to speak to me. You don't never have to say anything to me ever again in life. But my thing is, you don't have to continue to deal with negative people. And hey, man, I'm excited. We got Anthony Jr. back on the line. We got Byron on the line. We got Amar Khalil on the line. We got Shaquille Wilson. So since y'all just got on, let me tell y'all what we're talking about. Hold on. Check this out.
Can we please stop telling people, well, that's still your mom, that's still your dad, or that's still your brother, and that's still your sister? Toxic is toxic, whether it's family or not. You are allowed to walk away from people who consistently hurt you. You see, they say blood is thicker than water, but blood is not thicker than peace of mind. Can we please stop telling?
Y'all hear that? Byron, what's up, bro? Good morning.
What's happening? What's happening? The top of the
What's
morning.
up, man?
I woke up late.
You ain't used to being up this early in the morning?
I woke up late. I was trying to get up at 6.
Good morning, Byron. Did you get a chance to hear our topic?
Yeah, I was listening. Hey, but look, I was trying to get up at 6, but I was having a dream when everything came out purple and gold.
That was catching my old colors. Good morning,
I
man.
know it. Good morning. Good morning. We was green and gold, so I don't know why I was purple.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, man. And where you driving to? And Junior.
Hey, you probably was thinking about the Lakers winning in 5, huh?
Oh. And Junior, where you headed to this early in the morning? You out like your dad working?
Dropping my kids off at school.
Hey, man, that's what fathers do, bro.
There you go.
Did you hear the topic? You or Brian or Shaq or Amar, y'all got to comment on the topic?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Don't, man, run away from them toxic family members quick.
Give us an example. Go ahead. What kind of
Oh, man.
example you
I
got?
mean, in all reality, run from anything that's not benefiting you in any positive way in life. So if somebody toxic, where's the benefit at besides bringing you down, making you feel
So,
some type of way? So my
so what if
mom,
you love that? What if you love
listen,
that person?
I'm gonna give you a prime example. My mother, the one that birthed me and raised me for 31 years old, 31 years. I don't really talk to her no more because it was a toxic relationship. Because every time we talked, it was an argument because I'm her son. That's I can't tell her nothing. So it's like, okay, let me just stay away from you. I can't, because you're not really living the best of life, and I'm trying to give you some advice. And yeah, okay, and you always want to argue with me. So to save myself, I just don't call you no more. I choose when I want to answer your phone call. I'll choose when I want to go see you. But my kids can talk to you. I just won't talk to you.
But don't you want her love?
She had it for 31 years, and I accepted, and I accepted her anger. I accepted her alcoholism. I accepted everything that came with her for years. When I'm gonna think about myself and think about my peace and my happiness. I love my mom dearly, so I didn't say this when I was doing all that. I was going downhill, not being successful and not being able to raise my kids properly because I'm thinking about her and her wrongs and how can I help her. Toxic. And she's my mom, and she's old enough to know better because she's very intelligent and she knows right from wrong. And if I'm telling you this, you should be able to accept it, but you're not. So I'm gonna go ahead and exit left.
Byron, what you think?
Yeah, I had some toxic. I got some toxic. I got a lot. You know what I mean? My toxic was with my father's second set of kids.
Okay.
And it was his daughter, which is very, very much younger than me, but toxic. I mean, when I say toxic, it's very toxic. I don't even call her name. You know, and that's the part that I know that my heart is being hardened because, you know, that's supposed to be my blood, but I can't do no mixer with her. I can't because it's terrible. You know, when our father passed away, it was like, you know, she got all this stuff, but you know, he was calling me brother before that, but when he passed away and she got everything, I'm not her brother no more. But she made a bad mistake because she signed papers. She signed her and her mother signed some papers through the military stating that they never knew who my father's first 3 kids was. And we was born in the times, you know, like during the Korean War. So we was his first kids, military. So the military made a bad mistake. So, you know, toxic can skip generations. That's what I'm really trying to say. You know, because she's in her 40s, and here me and my sister, my brothers, we in our close to 70s. So how was she even evolved or even born at that time for the American government to believe that? So that just lets me know that, you know, everything in America could be toxic too. So it ain't just family. It could be everything around you.
So listen to this, Byron. It says in the 5th agreement, it says, don't take anything personal. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dreams. When you are immune to the opinion and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. And a lot of times, man, we take on stuff and it ain't got nothing to do with us. And same thing Anthony Jr. said about his mother. I don't care how intelligent she is. I know you love your mom, but that ain't got nothing to do with you, bro. Everything that she's dealing with, everything that she's saying, whatever hurt people hurts people, right?
Like this.
Yeah, and we take on their hurt because they are part of our bloodline. Why? Who made that a rule? That's not a rule. When Satan got cast out of heaven, Jesus said, "Depart from me." You know what I'm saying? God just cast him out of heaven. You can't even come back. You know what I'm saying? So at some point in life, we don't have to take on these negative people. You don't listen. I got some family members I love, but I guarantee you, I will not have a relationship with them. I'm gonna pray for them. I'm gonna love on them. I'm gonna love them from a distance. But are they gonna ever visit my house? Are they gonna ever be in my circle? No. Matter of fact, one of them was at Dwayne's service, and I didn't even acknowledge the person. The person was there acting a fool, talking crazy, everything. Something happened to him. Everybody was mad at me. Well, you should have stopped it. I don't even acknowledge that individual. Period. I don't acknowledge you. I don't acknowledge negativity at all. I came to do something. You came to get attention. We are on a different page. I don't do negativity. Period. I don't care who you are. My mama was negative, and I get it. Your mom died when she was 10. When you was 10, your daddy got murdered when you got to California by your cousin. You grew up, you married an insecure, you was 15, and you married an insecure dude, and y'all have 14 kids. Thank you for having me. But once I got away from my family, I still loved them. I still love them to this day. But I had to move because getting beat up, getting abused, all this. My brother beat me up for years. When I beat him up, everybody had attitude. Oh, you supposed to be a preacher. Listen, you put your hands on me. You could do that when I was young. I couldn't do no better. I wasn't smart enough. But you ain't finna do it now. Nothing physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, or spiritually. I'm not dealing with no negative, toxic people, period. Hey, Marcel, good morning. Hey, Mark, good morning. Will, good morning. Hey, listen, I made a conscious decision. I don't deal with toxic people. I'm sorry. Well, you're supposed to be a man of God. You're supposed to forgive and forget. I forgive you, and I forgot about it.
And I forgot about you.
But you ain't finna call me. I literally went to a class reunion, y'all, right? This is the last one.
I might be
Go
a
ahead.
man of God,
Getting in car seat.
but I'm not gonna let you keep beating me up.
That part. So I went to a class reunion. Somebody told me I ain't spoke to you in 40 years.
Get in the seat.
Why you want to talk to me now? If you ain't talked to me in 40 years, we good.
We good.
We good.
Look,
I ain't got no ill feelings on you. I ain't mad at you.
Now watch this. You
Go
said
ahead.
that somebody came to the funeral. I didn't even get a phone call about the funeral, only from you.
Wow.
That part.
That's crazy, bro. And
That
I
part,
apologize, bro. I apologize that you didn't get that call, man, because I would have loved for you to be there. Did you send me your address so I can send you that celebration of life?
Nah.
You got to send me your address so I can send that to you,
Go
bro.
this way. Where you going?
Because
You got to pay
All right,
attention. You got to drive on the road. It's like you driving.
Anthony, you got some
Listen to
handsome
you.
little kids over there, Anthony.
Thank you.
Where you get that from your
Oh.
daddy's side? I'm just saying. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, wait a minute. What was that? Is that little midget driving?
No, that little baby ain't. You got that baby driving. You know that's against the law. That ain't none of my business.
I'm on the
Hey.
phone driving. That's against the law too.
That's against the
Hey,
law.
can-
All right,
hey,
man. We
hey.
gonna leave you alone. We gonna leave.
Hey, look, if you teach them young, you won't have to worry about it, because when you get old, you
Nah,
have somebody to drive you
we just went
around.
around the corner.
Oh, okay. Well, we
Just
gonna.
around the corner to his school. He was in the
Oh,
back seat the
okay.
whole time.
Hey, man.
Hey, but that's good. But that's good though that you teach them young.
Hey, train up. The Bible said, "Train up a child in the way he should go," and when he get
I
old,
just-
he won't depart.
I just like to build his confidence up.
Hey, man, that's good. Hey, I
That's
appreciate
that's
that.
what you're supposed to do as a father.
That's right. That's right. You don't want him to be toxic. You want him to be a positive
At all.
young man.
Oh, he's very not toxic. He wakes up with a smile on his face every morning.
That's good. That's
Hey,
good.
man,
He
keep
got
that.
all that. Hey, he got all that curly hair, looking like Curly Drew.
Hey.
Hey, Chris and Marcel, good morning. Hey, Mark, we ain't heard from you. Chris and Marcel. So we're talking about separating ourselves from toxic people, y'all. Shaq, we haven't heard from you. We talking about separating ourselves from toxic people because we grew up in a culture where so much negative stuff go on and people almost force us. That's still your brother. That's still your sister. That's still. What if my sister don't like me? What if my brother don't like me? I supposed to just let them just treat me any kind of way? Nope. Sorry. I'm good. Go
No,
ahead,
for
Marcel.
sure.
I see you off the
No,
hook. Go ahead.
no. I realize that, growing up in the environment I grew up in, there's a lot of substance abuse and mental illness in my family. That and I'm one of the younger ones, so I sat there and I watched, and then once you don't realize how unhealthy the environments that you were in, right, or you're born into, were how unhealthy they were until you get into a healthy environment.
Mm.
Thank
And you
you.
start. Hey, I'm telling you, so I had left a unhealthy relationship of a lot of abuse, domestic abuse, physical, mental, emotional, financial, all these different abuses, right? And the fact that the person that was causing all these problems is now, mind you, I left because there's accountability there.
Right.
And one time a brother told me, he said, okay, at this point you're not a victim, you're a participant.
Wow.
Because you keep showing up for it. And it was very, I was 336, I was fat, I was depressed, I was stressed out, I was overworked, I was under everything. And it took for me to say, you know what, I'm done with this, to walk away from it. And now I'm in this healthy space and I'm around healthy things, and I can now see how, even on the nervous system level, how I was responding to certain things. Like I didn't, and one time I had dropped something, and the person was like, "Hey, relax, it's okay." And I'm like kind of moving. They're like, "Hold on, relax." And I'm like, "But my body, your body goes into this." And you didn't realize. I said, "Wow, bro, like I really got to do some healing." But my point was, in that space, when I tell you a person has a psychological disorder, that we found out later on, I'm trying to figure out crazy. I'm trying to figure out, because it's the thing that's the closest thing to you that you have to be an assistance to. They don't know that you can't tell a crazy person that they're crazy.
Right.
Because what happens, and then so the whole narrative now is, you've left, you abandoned me, you did all this stuff. And I'm like, no, I had to look out for myself. Like, because once I start realizing, bro, like, this is a you thing, this is not a me thing. And me trying to help you, is a person that's bleeding would then bleed onto you and then say that you caused it. And so now they're on a campaign saying that I was abusive. I had them thinking that they were crazy. They wanted to commit suicide and not taking accountability for anything that they've done. And when I said victims are not behind the bars,
right,
on 3 different occasions. Like, there's nothing that you can say or do that's going to convince me that I'm crazy, because I'm not crazy. And there's and when I tell you everything I speak of, I have evidence of, I have receipts for, video, audio, everything. If you sit back and you look at the behavior, not the person, but the behavior, it's unhealthy. So instead of getting the help that you need, you're constantly in denial, right? And ultimately, I just said I was done. And when I tell you the way they get on platforms to try to bash you, but it's like, the fact that I can debunk everything that you're saying by
Marcel, I don't think you need to debunk it, because the Fifth Agreement said, don't take anything personal. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say or do is a projection of their own reality, their own dreams. And when you are immune from the opinion and the actions of others, you won't be a victim of needless suffering.
No, 1,000%. And I'm in agreement with you, but I'm not there yet, because I tell you what, after all that I've done, respectfully, and haven't done, it's like, yeah, listen, I'm gonna share my piece. So the other day, I caught wind of all this stuff going out.
Right.
And it was like, so I just said a little post, and I said my piece, and was that piece. And for me, it was liberating, because it's like, okay, that was my, because I mean, a hot water heater has a relief valve for a reason.
Right.
And because if it don't release that steam and heat, it blows up. So at some point in time, that's a part of, and everybody's healing process is different. But I'm saying once you've been exposed to certain things that's not healthy on your journey back to getting healthy, these are things you got to work through and talk through. And from that post that I made about my experience, when I tell you 30 different men said the same thing, it's like in that space, there's a lot of unhealthy situations happening and nobody's accountable for what they're doing, and they're projecting on the other people, and that's how that lie perpetuates. And the reason why I felt it was necessary to say something is because at some point in time, you got to bring light to the illness. We're not talking about the symptoms, we're talking about the illness. The illness is people getting away with things and nobody's speaking to it. You got to talk to that thing in order to change it.
So, Marcel, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
When your friend said you was a participant, was that the light bulb that woke you up?
1,000%.
Okay.
But mind you, we would talk every day about the problems because they know the person and they've been knowing this person and they've been trying to tell me, and he was going through some stuff too. So we would talk every day about our problems. And then one day he said, let's talk about something else. And I said, no, we about to talk about what we talk about every day. And he was like, and he said, no, we're not. He said, because at the end of the day, what are you going to do to change it? And this is what he said too. And this is what he said. He said, because he's older than me. And he was in the know. And he said this. He said, man, don't be like me. Year one. He said, don't be like me when don't be like me in my situation. And then year 5 goes by, hey, don't be like me in my situation. And we still talking about the same thing. And one day, I think year 7, he said, oh, you're going to be like me.
Wow.
And that's when I said, oh, wait. And I seen how his played out. And I said, yeah, I won't be like you. And that's when I started to, realize that so much manipulation was being played. And then too, what I realized was the game was, because I've never been in the space of being married and never had real examples of it. So, it's interesting how the church people, how they use certain things that you're supposed to endure pain in order to someone else's pain in order for you to come complete. Like the burdens that they're not willing to address within themselves becomes your burden. And you're supposed to carry that. And it's like, go ahead.
So did you ever realize, and I know a lot of people don't realize, but do you ever realize that the church is an emergency hospital and people only go to church when they hurt?
I think churches for transformation is not for complacency. And a lot of people are complacent in the church and there's no transformation.
Yeah, but they only go when they're in pain. People don't just volunteer and go to church.
Hey,
they go to get some help and then they project their stuff. What the 5th agreement says, nothing others say or do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality. So now you could be talking to the pastor and you could be telling them all this abuse, but your abuse is less abuse than he grew up with. You know what I'm saying?
Or I'll say this.
Go ahead.
He's been married for 50 years.
Uh-huh.
And he's become numb to that abuse.
Or he been the abuser.
No, it could be, but I'm saying in this situation, the female, I'm not gonna go there. What I'm saying is,
I understand.
we've had guy to guy talk, and it's like, so how do you, if you say this person is crazy, why are you not talking about that in counseling? Like I've seen it happen so many times where we can have a man-to-man conversation, and we're on the same page, and then when that person comes around, we can't even speak to the problem. And so what I'm saying is, it was this manipulation of a husband's supposed to do that, and it's like, well, once I asked myself this question after, I think 10 years, I said, is this a wife? And the answer was no, it's not. That's not a wife. Right. They don't want leadership. They don't listen. They do they cause a lot of problems. They run to you with their problems, and whether it be you keep subjecting yourself to things, then run to me and then it's overwhelming. And so here's an example would be, one time they had a drinking problem. They're not supposed to drink. because when they drink, they can't control their alcohol. Then they do all kinds of stuff that they feel bad about later on. And so it was my job to watch them while we're at parties, make sure they don't get too drunk. And then I'm like, so how do I enjoy myself?
Back that up. We got to hear that all over again. Go ahead. What happened? I got to hear this.
It was my responsibility to keep an eye on her, to make sure she don't overconsume alcohol, because she has bad experiences with alcohol when she overconsumes. This alcoholism is what it's called, but people try to partake and they're not supposed to be partaking. So I have to watch her in social environments. So how am I supposed to enjoy my time if I'm watching a grown adult that's older than me? So one day I said, you know what? I said, no, if you can't handle it, don't do it.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not, like, at some point you got to hand that responsibility back onto them. And that's what I realized. Once you do that, now you're not doing your part. She didn't want to, man, I ain't gonna go there. What I'm saying is,
but now retrospect, think about that, what you just said. You had to make sure that individual, you had to watch that individual. That individual is not mature enough to watch themselves. They making that your responsibility and you're accepting it.
Like I say, I tried everything. I thought a good husband was a man that carries everything and carries a family, and damn near killed myself trying to be this Superman. But what I'm saying is, when I looked at the reciprocity, I'm looking like, when I asked myself, is that a wife? And the answer was no. Like you're doing all the right thing for the wrong person. Right. And once I realized that, I said, wow. So then now that you retreat, and then I always do like a Carfax, but I do that same thing on people, like to kind of figure out and get a more accurate understanding as to how this person's personality is. And what that says to me is, how is your previous relationships? They all end the same.
Toxic.
And what marriage are you on? This is my first. This is your. And what I'm saying is, every guy that's been with you has said the same thing, and they remove themselves out of your situation.
And this is the thing that I just want people to understand, that person or a person like that can manipulate you into their life and manipulate you to the point, whether it's financial, whether it's sexual, whether it's spiritual, whatever it is, they will manipulate you into their life, turn your good into bad, because they want to look like they're the winner in the contest.
So what happens is, like, because in my past, I'm a pretty transparent person. My past life, I used to pimp too. I had prostitutes or escorts, right? So I understand. I've been in environments where I understand how things are and I've also been amongst other people that did it from a place they did it differently. And the controlling part of the mind is, I control everything and I limit access to everything to you, and I give it as I feel, but not enough for you to go and to do anything significant, because it's a form of control. And when you start looking at everything as control, when they're tracking your car, they're tracking your phone, they're at other places, they're calling you because you're in the house, you got cameras inside your house. It's like, I've never been to jail, but you're in jail. And this is all from this person's insecurities and what they've done and what they do. Because even when you met them, they were lying and watching cameras and cheating on their husband. So my thing was, when you start learning this stuff and you realize, like, it says forsaking all others. This how cold the game gets. Forsaking all others. I let all my friends, family, and now I went into her life with her friends and her family. All my friends are her friends' husbands now. So when things are going crazy, and the friends that did stick around, they end up leaving, saying, hey, man, she's out of pocket. Like, you don't even check your wife. And I'm like, well, I can't really. I got to go with the Bible said I got to go with my wife. Like, so, and then they would cherry pick scripture to make you conform to the things that they wanted. And when you realize, it's like.
So they became the pimp?
I ain't never been no hoe.
Well, you didn't know. You didn't know.
Yeah, but what it is, but I'm saying ultimately, just kind of getting back to what we're saying, that like, and then here's the thing. The other part is, I remember the first time we was riding, and this person, they like this, it hit me in my face, because when they get upset, they get volatile and violent. That's what they resort to. violence. Like, it was a lot of abusive stuff happening. And I remember one time I had asked, when everything kind of, I said, what makes you think that you can hit me? And she said, you're a man, that doesn't hurt you. I said, oh yeah, you totally don't have no clue. But what's good for her is good for her. And I've never hit, I've never cheated, I've never lied, never not. When I tell you A1 everything, 1,000%, it was, you know, some give all, and what did it say? Some gave all, and all. It said some gave all, and some gave everything. Or no, how does it go? Some gave, all gave some, and some gave all. Like, some people are giving 1,000%, and some people are giving what they want to give. Can y'all hear me or no?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, it just went mute.
That I think he on the phone. He on his other.
Okay,
phone.
go ahead, Marcel. Go ahead.
Press mute.
Yeah,
but what I was saying is, when I started learning about all this stuff, it was some spiritual stuff going on too, and then I realized about mental health and codependency, and also too that the trauma bonding. How the roles reverse is my dad used to beat my mom, so I said I never hit a woman. I never put my hands on a woman, and to this day I stand true to that. And that's one of my values that I hold dear to, and I don't do. And it takes a lot of self-control for somebody to hit you in the face and do it for years. And the only reason why I called the cops the first time that I called them is because my son witnessed it. She took a picture frame off the wall and hit me in my back with it. And I said, damn, like I got to do the right thing because I got to show my son like somebody ever, you know. So then when I thought they're gonna come and try to like just talk to her and scare her. Cause I never called the police on no girl. Like I just never had to do that. And when they came, she tried to fight him and she went to jail. But look, she was drunk.
You know that.
Crazy.
You know it's
I'm
funny.
gonna tell you how this works. So it's 2 a.m. All this stuff happened. The cops came. She tried to fight him. Her friend comes in the midst of all this happening. Her friend's yelling at me, "Why you call the police? Why you call the police? Why you call the the women that are around her said, real men walk away. Why would you call the cop? You should have just walked away." And I said, "What?" This girl tried to fight the police. But it was this whole thing that was happening. But mind you, the trauma that I've experienced in my life, it was crazy, but it wasn't crazy enough to, you know, I could still stay in it. So I remember when you're a victim of domestic violence, they'll reach out to you and they'll call you and they'll have this conversation with you and offer you resources. The lady said, she said, "Yeah, you know, you're a victim of domestic violence." I laughed, and she was like, "You shouldn't laugh." And I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I'm not no victim." She said, "I don't think you understand how serious this is." And I was like, "Okay, like, you know, well, tell me, like, what am I missing?" And she said, this is what she said. She said, because I said, yeah, I said, you know, this was a day after when she got out, and she was still mad at me for calling the cops that she went to jail. And I said, well, I'm kind of confused because she's mad at me because she went to jail. And the lady said, tell her to look at the body camera and see her behavior. And if she's still blaming you, you need to leave like yesterday.
Wow.
And mind you, the cops said, hey, they already knew who she was because we live in a small town and she's had a lot of run-ins with the police, but then befriended the police chief and got on the police advisory board. And then the police chief was trying to keep the peace between this high profile person in the community that's, you know, and so the cops were very upset. And this is what the cops said. When they came to the house, they said, "Oh, yeah, we got him." They was excited once they found out it was her. So all that stuff happened. And what the guy said was, it was like 2 a.m. And he said, "I know you don't want to tell on your wife. You don't want to press charges, but this was going to happen. If you don't press charges, we're going to come and pick you up next." Whoa. And I said, "Why you say that?" He said, "This is how it happens. You put her in jail, she's going to put you in jail, even if she lies." And I was like, nah, that's not, I didn't believe that was going to happen. But long story short, the victim's lady said, have her watch the body cam. And if she says that it wasn't her responsibility and she, you know, you should leave. But after the police left, they said, it's up to you. So I'm sitting there at the table and I'm replaying everything that happened. And I do Instagram and Snapchat. And earlier that day, me and the boys, we were cooking in the kitchen. And I'm watching the video of us cooking in the kitchen, and they dancing and stuff. This is in the morning time, making breakfast. I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the phone. I'm looking at, and I'm sitting, and I said, I noticed that there was some wine bottles missing from the wine rack. I look in the trash. There was 5 bottles of wine. And I said, damn, like, excuse me. I said, dang, that's crack. I said, she was drunk. But mind you, she would get upset at times. And when I met her, she was drinking. But she would get upset at times. She'd go under the cover and have some alcohol and be like sipping it so I could see it. And so I can get upset and say something to her about her drinking. So all these ways of manipulation and these self-sabotaging behaviors, and you don't love me, and kicking doors, right? The stuff I had, like writing on the walls and writing on the doors and kicking holes in the door and then try to cover it up. And like, I have video of all this stuff. Her waving loaded guns, like all this crazy manic stuff, to where once I festered up the fortitude to say I'm done, and I left. I was convinced to come back. I came back, but it was even worse. So when I left, I said I was done, and that's when the whole overflow of the
So let us let people know what we're talking about, so they can know. They won't think you be white bashing.
Can we please stop telling people, well, that's still your mom, that's still your dad, or that's still your brother, and that's still your sister. Toxic is toxic, whether it's family or not. Walk away from this hurt you. Blood is thicker than blood is thicker than blood. It's not thick blood. It's not thick.
So Marcel ain't bashing his wife or ex-wife.
No. I'm not. I'm just sharing my experience.
I'm talking about toxic people.
And the crazy part is this: you can be married to this person. And the image that people have and these ideas of what they think and what they see, it could be like literally killing you. You know, one time my son's grandmother, you know, he's 23, and he's going through some stuff, so I kind of put a little distance there. And I saw his grandma, and she was like, "What's going on with your son?" I said, "Well, you know, he's kind of going through his thing." And she says, "Well, that's still your son." I said, "I can never change that." I said, "But that's not my responsibility at this point." And she said, "You know what? You're right. And what I took from that is you got to know what is for you to carry and what other people are responsible for. And you got to leave it there. That's my take on it.
All right. Hey, and we got a little echo in the background. Dwayne working on it. Chris, Anthony, Shaq, or Byron. Go ahead. You got to come in, and I'm gonna put myself on mute.
Yeah, I just want to go off of what he was talking about, the alcohol. I don't drink. But what I used to do is buy bottles, you know, like special edition limited bottles and sell them. So I bought this bottle of Hennessy for $125. 3 to 4 weeks later, that bottle was worth $500. When I went to go retrieve the bottle, it was empty. I found out she was drinking that way. And when I asked her, she just had this sinister look on her face. And it was kind of weird. So I can understand about the drinking.
So it was sneaking drinking.
Yeah, pretty much. But I didn't see it at first. Because she was putting mints in her mouth. She was putting gum in her mouth, you know, going to church every Sunday. And matter of fact, this is the same person that kind of almost drove a wedge in between me and Dwayne.
Wow.
Yes, because she told Dwayne that I was down at the studio, you know, doing the whoopee with women in the studio. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So Dwayne simply said to her, no, anybody that's here is for me, you know,
Right,
and the person that she accused me of was a sweetheart. And you know who I'm talking about, Amid.
right.
She was a sweetheart. She was just, that matter of fact, it was the time she was trying to open up her massage place up there in she was trying to open up that massage thing.
Right. I understand. I know
And
exactly.
she was asking me to just, you know, be at the front door and do security for her. So she wanted to meet with me and her business partner and have dinner. So in the text, it says, don't worry about it. I'll pay for everything. And she took that the wrong way and said that I was giving her money and I was screwing her and doing this and doing that. And she made it bad, you know, that's the reason why I stopped coming to the studio, because me and Dwayne was like, Byron, I can't have that around here. Even though I know she, you know, but he said I can't. And that's when me and Dwayne split ways. Because of
yeah, and that's the thing, man, that we have to read books like The Fifth Agreement, right? Because we got to make sure that our words are impeccable, that we speak with integrity, say only what we mean, avoid using words to speak against ourselves or gossip against others, use the power of our words in the direction of truth and love, and then we don't take anything personal, because nothing others do is because of you. What others say or do is a projection of their own reality, their own dreams. When you are immune from the opinion and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. And don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask the question or to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can and avoid misunderstanding for sadness and drama. So I literally, man, had to get to a place in life that I just couldn't keep dealing with negativity. And there are certain people I just had to walk away from. And it ain't personal. It is not personal. I just can't have you in my circle, because if I put you in my circle, you're going to make my circle bad. You're going to make me bad. So I don't have negative people in my circle no more. And I know people get offended. I know people get mad, but it is what it is, bro. And we got to get to the place as African-American males, because we're the standard, regardless what people say. People are looking at us. So our words got to be impeccable. We got to make stuff, we got to be impeccable. We can't take anything personal. We can't make assumptions. And we always got to do our best. We do. And it's unfortunate that we always got to step up to the plate. Got an echo in the background. But we got to be the example for everybody else. And that's I made sure, this is what I made sure, right? I made sure my kids can never say that I wasn't available for them. I worked for myself. I went to every basketball game. I probably didn't pay attention. I went to every football game. I went to anything my kids had. I was there. I worked at the school. They can't say I wasn't there. I've been there for every event in their life. My son wanted to move to Texas. I drove him to Texas. My other son wanted to go to school, Southeast Missouri. I drove him to Southeast Missouri, and I showed up 3 times at his games. And when I showed up, I found out the coach was talking bad about me and him because they was in Southeast Missouri. The majority of the people on the team was poor, and he was talking crazy, and he was just talking crazy, and I just stood behind him. And after a while, he stopped talking because everybody was looking at him crazy. And when he turned around, he saw me. And he was like, oh, I was just trying to make an example. I said, listen, bro, you flew to California to my house, asked me, can my son come to your school? And now you're jealous of my son? So listen, bro, don't let this keep happening. And the third time he did it, I came and packed my son up and we moved. I was like, you're not going to this school no more. Because evidently, this individual is jealous of me. This has nothing to do with you. You're a child. I'm your parent. And because he don't like me, and because this is the third time I caught him, and every single time one of the main coaches said, hey, man, you don't know when that dude going to show up. He didn't already showed up on you twice. Evidently, he got money just to come to the game.
That part.
And he's sitting close enough to hear everything you're saying. And then when my son left, he called. I can't believe your son just won't show up at the games and your son haven't been to. I said, man, I moved my son back home. And I gave the roommate all the stuff I bought for my son. Because he got mad because I fixed up my son's room. I said, man, you ain't sleeping in them old nasty beds. We're going to break them down, put a futon for you and your roommate. I'm going to put some nice carpet in here, give y'all a TV, microwave, refrigerator, everything, and anything y'all need. I'm going to fill up the cabinets, and everything you get, your roommate get. He was jealous. Everything. He found a reason to be jealous. And I was like, you know what, man, you don't need to be playing on a team. Because at that time, I wasn't aware what they doing to Shedeur. The same thing they doing to Shedeur, they was doing to my son. But I took my son home. Because
I had to do the same thing
at Fremont. My life was not good. Because I'm an extremist. I'm either here or here. I'm working on this. You know what I'm saying? The Bible said be hot or cold. Because if you lukewarm, I'm going to spew you out of my mouth. So I wasn't cold. I was trying to be cold, or I was going to turn it up. When young kids said I was going to crash out. So instead of crash out, I just brought him back home. That's all.
I did the same thing at Fremont High School with my son, because, that's my alma mater. Right. I came out of Fremont, and, I'm like, okay, my son want to go to my high school, right? Right. So he on the football team, and the coach called him a crackhead.
Whoa.
So when I went up to the school, the security guard, how they had the guards at the gate. Right. They all speaking. They was like, hey, Mr. Pryor, how you doing? How you doing? You know what I mean? And I heard this one dude, he was like, oh, man, that's one of them OGs from the High Street Bank boys, man. What he doing up here? His son go here. Oh, snap. The dude I can hear him talking. Dude was like, no, Coach Terry just called his son a crackhead. So when I heard that, I went in there and I took him. You know what I mean? I went to the principal's office. And at that time, I knew the principal.
Right.
The principal, we grew up together on High Street. So he said, look, he said, Byron, he said, let me tell you, he said, I don't know what he going through. I said, I know what I'm finna do, though. And I took him out of Fremont, and I politely put him in Castlemont with Coach Ed.
That's what I'm talking about. Castlemont, bro.
And I got two sons that graduated in 2014 and 2018 out of Castlemont.
That's what I'm talking about.
And ever since then, the youngest one that Coach Carey was, because he was 6'3", man. That dude was an awesome football player. And I think Coach Cherry was kind of, I said his name, but I think he was kind of jealous of me because when I was living on High Street, he was one of them little dirty drag pan little boys around the hood. Nobody never really messed with, and, I guess he heard the stories about me, and then he found out that was my son. He started messing with him. You know what I mean? But I'm like, I ain't gonna give you that opportunity, man. I'm gonna go and take him out of here, and I'm gonna send him over to Castlemont. And then when he went to Castlemont, hanging with the big Samoans and all them dudes and playing with the cats in the East, all the cats at the Fremont, all the players, they like my son. But, man, they start seeing that coach for who he really was, man, and they start leaving the team, and about 6 more players came from Fremont and went to Castlemont.
And this is the thing I got a problem with, right? If I allow you to coach my child, I'm not going to be one of those parents. I'm not going to be one of those parents. You're the coach. Just be the coach. That's all I'm saying.
That's your job.
When my son went to a charter school, and they hired a guy from Mac. And because the school is a charter school, the coach from Mac would talk crazy to the kids from a charter school. Most kids who go to charter school got mamas and daddies, and they're bringing them to school. And I invested over 50K, and my boy invested 200K. And I literally told him, hey, bro, just calm down, bro. You do too much. First of all, you too big to be having on sandals. This the coach. Why you got sandals on coaching? But, you know, that's neither here nor there. I'm doing my work because I work for myself. So I'm working in the stadium while they playing. And this dude is screaming, calling kids all out of their name. And for whatever reason, I looked up and he called my son a punk AMF. And I just left my laptop. Now I'm in Oakland. I left my laptop. Walked down to in the middle of the field. And they was like, hey, if you don't get off the field, it's going to be a tech. I said, no, it's going to be more than a tech. I said, dude, you're fired. And he looked at the other coach, and the coach was like, he said, you're fired. I said, man, I gave you the opportunity to coach. You're trying to live vicarious through these kids, and you're talking to these kids like they're West Oakland kids. These are not West Oakland kids. These are kids who go to a charter school. Their parents don't cuss them out. Their parents don't talk to them any kind of way. So I don't cuss out my kids. I'm a pastor, and you're not going to cuss out my kids. And either you leave now freely, or it's going to be a problem. And they're like, oh, if you don't get out the field. I said, bro, I don't care nothing about texts right now. They get all the texts they want. But if you don't get off this field, it's going to be a whole nother problem. And he left, and he kept calling. I was like, no, you can't get your job back. No, because you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn today. I'm not going to interrupt nothing you do. I don't know how to play football. When I tried to play, I busted my foot. Never played sports again. I played money. You know, my only affairs with my wife, Jesus, and money. You know what I'm saying? I've been with my wife 46 years on the 14th. Money and Jesus. So I had no affair. Those are three: my wife, my money, or Jesus, my money, and my wife. But I also said that to say, when I see coaches doing too much, I pull them to the side. Hey, bro, if you don't want my son on this team, it's fine. But I'm not going to run out into the stage. I'm not going to scream and holler and tell you don't know what you're doing. I don't know. I stay in my lane. And even in my relationship, I stay in my lane. People, how you and your wife married 46 years? I know my role. She know her role. That's it. When I go in the bathroom, I got to close the door too. My stuff stink too. You know what I'm saying? So in this thing called, you know, we live in this world, everybody's sensitive. Everybody's sensitive. Don't say nothing, you're going to hurt somebody's feelings. No, I'm not dealing with toxicity. I'm not under any circumstances. If you're toxic, we're good. I'm going to pray for you and keep it moving. Ain't even personal. And if you're mad at me and you don't have my telephone number, you're really not mad at me.
I'll tell him in a minute. I'm sorry that you acting like Ralph Transvat. You acting like you sensitive. Don't be so sensitive. You know, I mean, that's good when you would, you know, what you know, what you know.
Because I just posted a picture of the way that Ralph
Hey, Ralph was cool.
I know. That's just funny you mentioned his name.
Yeah. Ralph was cool. I met them cats one you know, through Hammer.
Oh, okay.
You know.
My buddy used to manage Hammer for years, Michael
and you know, and matter of fact, I had an opportunity when I was with Hammer one time at a video shoot, and Aaron Hall was like, man, you want to go on tour? I need a security guard like you. I'm like, dude, I'm not finna travel, you know. And he was like, man, why not? I'm like, man, I gotta ask my mama.
Hey man, I mean, part of the music industry I love, but
my mama said no.
I couldn't.
She said no.
I get it, because you got to think about it like this, man. The record company, the pimp, the artist is a prostitute, and everybody else is a trick.
Man, that part.
Because if you don't get enough albums sold, you're not going to get paid. Because I don't care how many videos, how many times you see them on TV, if they're not selling, They're not paid. That's why it's a whole bunch of broke artists. And and I'm just saying this because I only know black men, right? I know a few other races, but I'm saying this as black men. As black men, we got to be the best so that people can call us average. You know what I'm saying? And this book, The Fifth Agreement, it will help you change your life. You got to change your life. Me and my wife created the Zai Family Devotional, and it's on Amazon. Every single day, we hold hands as a family. Yeah, they joke. Yeah, they play. But we hold hands as a family and pray. And then we pray together as a whole. Because I got to be the best me. I got to be the best me for my kids can be average. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, they piss us off because they remind us of us. You know what I'm saying? There's some stuff they do. We be like, Lord, help me. You know what I'm saying? You know, some stuff that I got the brakes beat off me for, I'm giving them a pass. And my parents beat the brakes off of me because they was mad at the situation. They got to go to work and be treated like crap and come home. They ain't about to let no little kids talk crazy to them. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
my mom was,
I
was the 12th child. So she was a pro in throwing shoes. She was a pro in backhanding you and slapping you across the room. And I made up in my mind, I said, you know what? I'm getting away from these people. Because these people are toxic.
I thank God these are still real.
Oh, they still real.
Because my mama, she knock out your front teeth. You know, you be running around here whistling with no front teeth. My mama didn't play. She was 5'2". She was from Puerto Rico, and she was a heavyweight.
Whoa. And how many kids did she have?
3.
And she was a heavyweight?
She was a heavyweight. She did not play. She did not play.
And I understand in the era that we was in, I get it. I get it for our fathers, whether they was there or not there. But we got to step up, Tom. We got to step up, and we got to forgive our kids because our kids are a reflection of us. We got to forgive our kids. We got to forgive mom and them because they did the best they can with the information they had. We got to forgive our exes, our nexes. We got to forgive people. But we don't have to deal with the toxicity of, we don't have to deal with foolishness.
At all.
We don't have to. We're older now. You know, I'm that old person who just say whatever. And my bad. You remember that old person who used to always say crazy stuff? And you're like, oh, they crazy. I'm a little bit of that person now. Because I'm going to just say it, whether it hurt your feelings or not. I'm saying it. And I'm only saying it because it's the truth. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I do the things that I do because I see myself in all 7 of my kids.
Okay.
They all got seven pieces of me. Because each one of them is like, ooh, I see that. And I see how, you know, and my one son, now I used to get in trouble, but I've never been to the pen. But he wound up in there. So I'm like, maybe he'll learn his lesson.
Right.
Because I tried to stay away from it. You know what I mean? I really did. Even though, you know, I was one of the little high street bank boys, you know, and running around doing my thing. But now, man, life is good. I'm retired. I don't have to get up and punch no clock to go to work. My checks come in on regular time on direct deposit from Social Security, retirement, survivor benefits. And I tell them all the time that, you know, people be like, well, when did you work? I say, what you mean? You it's not important to know when I worked. Do you work?
And again, bro, it ain't none of their business. Long as God got you, everything else don't matter.
I ask them, I say, you worried about what I'm getting, but what are you doing to get yours?
Right.
You know, what are you going to do to make the American government say, you know what, that man, he worked 40 years. He need his retirement.
Right.
You know, they're not doing that today. They're not doing that today.
And I'm saying we gotta get to the place of helping, because we got a generation don't have to work hard. All you got to do is come up with an idea. I seen a young lady made a jingle and they sent her $2 million. I guarantee you that whole $2 million gonna be gone because she ain't got nobody in her life to help her with that $2 million.
Nope.
So this generation could get money quicker than we ever could have got money.
Bitcoin, Dogecoin.
Right, but if you're not a good steward, that money ain't gonna help you.
And they ain't gonna do you no good.
You know, I had a young man who had, you know, he was the beginning of a whole bunch of stuff, and he got a lot of money, but the people in his life never had money. So because they never had money and they was in his life, now he's back in the same situation because it's unfortunate you can't have money and be around broke people. Broke people will break you. They will wear you thin. They will make you poor. So sometimes when you get something, you got to separate, get yourself together, and then go back and help them. You can't help them while you're trying to get yourself together because they'll mess your life up. I got a lot of people, man, to this day who are mad at me. Can't believe I closed the church down. Can't believe I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay, that don't have nothing to do with you. I got a wife and I got kids I got to take care of. And I got to take care of myself. You know what I'm saying? Just like I was talking about the individual who was mad because the time I spent with Dwayne died. That's my boy. Whatever amount of time it took, I was going to do it.
But how can they be mad because you on your journey?
You got to understand, man, toxic people are toxic.
That's like that song Dwayne. That's like that song Dwayne made.
What's the song?
He said, "Party, don't cry."
Right.
Don't be crying. What you cry?
That whole service was centered around party, don't cry. And then evidently Anthony must got some waves or something because he keeps brushing his hair. I'm just trying. You got waves in? Ed Junior, we talking to you. You got waves or something? I don't think he can hear us because he making sure his hair look good. Chris or Shaq, y'all ain't got no comments on what's going on?
I'm here, man. I'm just here for the listen, man.
Oh, I'm glad.
He said, "I'm just here for the listen."
Oh, you here for the listening? Chris, you ain't got no comment, bro? Man.
I just
I'm just saying, bro.
listening. You can hear me?
Bro. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I just been listening. There was a lady that left a comment. She's usually always on here with us, Melanie.
Yeah, Melanie.
She said being in a approval seeking mindset can cause you to keep negative people around you. And that just kind of hit home because
can you explain that?
You know, yeah, because you know, when you lack things in your life, that could be parents, you know, that could be friends, that could just be a mentor, that could be anybody that just, you know what I mean, that can direct you. When you lack those people in your life later on in life, you find yourself trying to seek those things. And if you didn't have anybody to tell you how to handle those situations, then you'll just go in it blinded. And you know, I've had a lot of people in my life, and I do have people in my life that didn't have their fathers in their lives. Okay. You know, and like I attract to these people because I didn't have my father in my life, right? But I also know that I didn't have a bitterness, you know, towards my father not being there. I was just grateful for whatever I had and made the best out of whatever I could. And sometimes people can't not only just understand that some people aren't some people aren't in your best favor, and sometimes you got to go through the experience to see that, especially when you somebody that wasn't, directed by somebody, and and you find yourself being one of those types of people that want everybody to want. It goes from wanting everybody to love you just to wanting somebody to love you. You know what I mean? And like you said, the people that have insecurities are the ones that want to be loved. You know what I mean? Just don't know how to express it. Just don't think that telling a joke or putting somebody else down is a way of expressing it. It doesn't work that way. So there's steps to getting to a place where you are just not mindful of the negativity. If you grew up in negativity, you gotta get to a place where you reflect on that negativity, understand that even though you came from that negativity, that's not you and that you're not a part of that, but also being surrounded by people that can show you what it looks like not to be negative, and until you see that representation, man, you can really run into any and everybody. And yeah, man, I've seen it so many times where my friends, they don't have guidance because they still stuck places. They still stuck at, man, my pops wasn't there. And like that's normal. You know what I mean? It's not for somebody to keep telling him like he ain't gonna be there, and like get over it. That's not how you tell somebody to do that. You gotta help them. You gotta help them to understand that they gotta forgive them. They gotta forgive that person and forgive themselves. Because all you're gonna do is grow with that bit, right? And then you're gonna think that you're a good person, and then you're gonna be bitter to other people and not even realize that you're doing that because you never had the direction. So I felt her when she said like you get stuck when you're in a mindset of wanting to receive that from people, that you could run into it. So it's important to tell people, like just to stay away from the toxicity, but it's also important to know why they even in that state, why they even think that somebody being negative is even good for them, take them away from that negativity and show them something that's different. And also just don't, that saying when they say, like tough love, right?
Right.
Tough love is really like, it's not you being tough, like as a dad, you're not a sensitive person, or you're not affectionate and all those things, and you just giving tough love. You know what I mean? It's way deeper than that. There's tough love that you got to give to your family members that you genuinely really love and care about. But at the same time, you got to give them that. You got to give them the tough love where it's like, hey man, I love you, but I also gotta keep this situation where it is, and I still got to continue to grow and be who I am as a person. So that you don't find yourself being bitter over that person, because you being bitter might repeat the process again. You get what I'm saying? It might bring that person right back. It might bring that person right back into your life. And now you attracting those people all over again. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's important for us to reflect, on where we come from and what we've been through. Have an understanding that we don't want to be the environments that we grew up on if they were negative environments. And then the next step is being surrounded by people and having a direction as to what it looks like to live a positive life, and you're gonna need that, because you could tell a person to just be yourself and do it yourself all you want, but you could you telling that to a person that don't have no type of direction, you're not really helping them. You're just telling them to be tough, but all right, you telling them to be tough, but nah, you got to point them in a direction, you know, or give them a sense of direction every single time that you speak to somebody, you know, anytime somebody call you and ask you for advice, you know.
And I definitely understand that because I had to realize my wife reminded me that I came from a crazy family. She probably didn't relay the message right, but at the end of the day, she was totally right. She was the first of 14, and I'm the 12th of 14. I came from a group of negative, toxic people. And I didn't understand that until I got a mentor in my life and I watched how he raised his children. And he grew up without a father. And I watched how he raised his children. I watched all the stuff he did as a man. And he became my example of what it was to be a man. You know what I'm saying? And once I learned that, I had to start changing. And then I had to learn how to consciously separate people out of my life because I wanted them people in my life. I wanted their approval. I wanted their okay. And then I realized their approval is making my life terrible. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't good for me. They didn't like me, and they didn't know why they didn't like me. And I didn't know why they didn't like me. But once I started reading the 4 agreements, I'm on the 5th agreement now. Once I started reading the 4 agreements, I realized that nothing that people said or did had anything to do with me. And I had to change my environment. I had to change certain people from being in my life. So, you know, when I learned that, it's a lot of people who are mad at me today, but that's them. Well, you should do this and you should do that. Nah, I should stay on my journey, which is healing me. You know, when I lost 123 pounds, people was like, oh my God, you're too skinny, you this, and that. And I'm thinking to myself, y'all the same people said I was too fat. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on this healing journey, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, and financially. I'm on a whole different journey. I'm 64 years old. I got to be the best me. I got to be a good steward of my wife. First, I got to be a good steward of my health, my relationship with Christ, my wife, my children's, my home, my cars. I got to be a good steward over everything that God has given me. And I got to take care of this body that he gave me. So that means I got to eat right. I got to drink water. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do all of this in order for me to maintain me. So that's why I don't tell people what street my parade coming down, because then people will try to rain on it. You know, the moment you tell somebody, oh, well, I'm fasting. Oh, don't fast too much. You know, you ain't supposed to do that. The moment you tell somebody anything that makes them uncomfortable and they're not doing it for themselves, then they want to start telling you what's best for you. And you don't know. Only person who knows what's best for me is me. You know what I'm saying? So that's my journey, bro. That's my journey right there.
This is the last thing I'm gonna.
No, you don't have to be the last thing. We got,
but
41 minutes. 30,
last summer I started probably about 2 summers ago. I started gardening with my grandmother, and in the process, the first process, you know, I started with a garden that wasn't like necessarily all the way cleaned out, right? So it was certain things that I wanted to keep in the garden, and my grandmother just kept telling me, you know, like, you should just clear it all out, you know, put some fresh soil in it, you know what I mean, and like start fresh. So there was a corner, you know, where this sunflower was, and I just thought the sunflower was just so pretty. And I was just like, man, like I just got to keep this sunflower here, and I left it like in the corner, you know what I mean? And my grandmother was just like, she said, you know, she has these like little sayings, or she'll just say slick things, you know, but she was just saying that sunflower is pretty, you know, but you know, she'll ruin your whole bin. And I didn't know what she was saying. I didn't understand what she was saying, you know, but I was just like, man, the sunflower look dope. I'm gonna just keep it there. You know what I'm saying? So I left the sunflower in there, and I started growing other foods, right? I did some peppers in there, and some eggplants, and some tomatoes, and all those types of things. Well, the eggplants, you know, they grew. Everything grew, you know, it grew in its own area, you know, but the sunflower was just getting bigger and bigger. You know what I mean? And the first fruits of labor dropped. You know what I mean? I got some peppers off of it, got a lot of tomatoes and everything. Next thing you know, everything just started just like dying and being taken over. And my grandmother was like, you seen a little bit of what these plants can bring. You got food, you got source of energy from it, right? She was like, but what happened is that I told you that sunflower needed a bigger bin. And now what's happening is she's taking over your whole yard. She's getting bigger, so now her roots are getting bigger. Now she's taking over your whole entire bin. So you can't do no fruits, no nothing there, as long as she is in this bin, because she needs bigger. And that just went to show me that, like, you know, it's I started to relate it to life, where you can have the prettiest woman, you know, and you
Right.
think that she's just everything, you know, and you got her in your corner. And so you say, you know, I got her in my corner. And then you start realizing that she's taking over your entire life. You know what I mean? And it's by the appearance, it's by the prettiness, and the growth that you think that is happening, but you're not realizing that it's taken away from all the other blessings that you could possibly have. You feel me? That's toxic. You have one person that's in your life that is toxic, and now it's running the toxic into you, right? And now you got 20 other people that love you, but now you being toxic towards them. You know what I mean? You get where I'm going. If you
Right.
have one bad fruit in there, it might make all the fruit go bad. So you got to be able to hold yourself accountable all of the time. Yeah, she was pretty, but what value did she bring?
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, she was pretty, but how did she help you grow? How did she help things around you grow? You get what I'm saying? Like, all of these all of these things that we talk about every Thursday are so relatable to all of us, because it's so easy to fall victim into anything, because we surrounded by so much negativity. It's negativity everywhere. Every scroll, every app, everything that you open up, you know what I mean? There's something. So, like, to be able to stay sane, but also to be able to continue to have that good spirit, that's what's most important in life, man.
And amen. And I appreciate what you're saying, and that's why I keep recommending the fifth agreement. I think the Bible says, "Study and show yourself approved, a watchman rightly dividing the word of truth." I have the Zaid Family Devotional book. I have the Fifth Agreement. I'm reading books that's going to enlighten me, because they said anything you don't want Black people to know, put it in a book. And we have to be not the toxic person. You know what I'm saying? We got to work on ourselves. I got 6 months to mind my business and 6 months to leave everybody else's business alone. I gotta not only get my business straight, but I gotta make sure, that my physical, mental, emotional, psychological, spiritual, all of that stuff, I gotta make sure I'm on point. I'm speaking positive. I gotta take care of me first. Because if I don't take care of me, I can't take care of nobody else. And a lot of times me taking care of me offends other people. But I'm gonna take care of me. I get the Christ, I get the Christian thing, I get all that. But first, I gotta have a relationship with God. I got to have a relationship with my wife and my children. And then when I'm available to speak into other people's lives, I'm going to do it. But I'm not going to sacrifice me for no one else. And if I see something, I'm going to speak about it. And if it offends you, let's talk about it. But I can't allow your negativity to affect who I am. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else got a comment? What's up, Steve? I'm on my line. Go ahead, Brian. Okay. I see Brian. As soon as I get off my podcast, I'm gonna call you right back. Okay, I'll be over. All right. Yeah. So we as African American males, right? Or get your DNA, find out who you really are. But we gotta make conscious decisions because every single morning, and I'm talking to us as men, because I don't know no other race. But every single morning, God gives us brand new grace and mercy. Grace is God unmerited favor to undeserving men and women. Mercy is he really shouldn't give us a pass because all the stuff we did, we don't deserve a pass. But he said, the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. He said, I come that you might have life and might have it more abundantly. So God said, I came to the world not to condemn the world, but to save the world. So saying that, all you got to do is repent. God will forgive you of your sins. Throw them in the sea of forgetfulness. He won't remember them no more. Matter of fact, we got to learn same thing. We got to learn how to forgive ourselves. We got to learn how to apologize to ourselves. We got to learn how to appreciate, love, respect, be kind, and value ourselves. And the reason I say that, because John 3:16 say, for God so loved the world, which we are part of the world, that he gave his only begotten son for we can have everlasting life. Now, every morning he wakes you up. When your eyes open, you ought to be grateful and thankful for eyes to see. Then you ought to thank God for ears to hear, a nose to breathe, a mouth to talk, the activities and use of your limbs, the blood running warm in your vein, the roof over your head, the clothes on your back, the shoes on your feet, that you didn't get any bad news. And even if you got bad news, thank God. You know, when Alex died, everybody going crazy. Even me, I thought I was going to lose my mind. But then I was reminded that he got 13 extra years to live. You know what I'm saying? My boy Dwayne passed, but he lived for 64 years. You know what I'm saying? So I can thank God for our relationship for over 57 years of a relationship as friends who became brothers. So I can thank God for the years we were friends and turned into brothers. So I don't look at the negative no more. I praise God for the positive. Do I miss Dwayne? Every single day. Do I still got his number in my phone? Do I still got texts in my phone? Yes. Am I going to take him out? Maybe one day. Same thing with Alex. But right now, I ain't doing that. I'm just keeping them in my phone. For whatever reason, that's on me. But I'm learning that I got to be a good steward over this body. That means I can't be out here smoking, drinking, cussing, acting a fool, committing fornication, committing adultery. I can't do that. Why? Because if my wife did it to me, I'll have a fit. So I haven't had an affair. I ain't better than nobody. I still got issues. Because the Bible says, if a man said he has not sinned, he's a lie, and there's no truth in him. So all have sinned. All have came short of the glory of God. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, I got issues. I'm telling you, I did have an affair with money. Still have an affair with money. Only person I had an affair with, woman, is my wife. And we've been having an affair for 46 years and married 44. So we don't even end with Jesus. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't have the energy to play games. The Bible says when I was a child, I acted as a child and I did childish things. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. When I became married and I started having kids, I became responsible for my kids. And you know where I learned that from? My daddy. I was the 12th child of 14 kids from my father-in-law. They had 14 kids. And I seen how a man take care of their kids. I seen how a man take care of his wife. So I never put my hands on my wife. And I learned how a man take care of his wife. I learned how a man take care of his kids. Whether you with the mother or not, I get it. But become responsible for your actions. I don't care what other people think about us. People always talk about a black man. You know, the devil is a lie. We are the most, first of all, black couples are the most married couples, and black men are more in their children's life than the world give them credit. It's more black women that ain't in their kids' life than black men. Black men are in their children's life. You talk to my wife will tell you I was there for every last one of my sons, for everything. There's nothing. I got a son who don't even like me for whatever reasons. He liked that toxicity. But,
I got one too.
Right. And the first thing he told my wife, which is not his mom, well, I can't say nothing negative about him because he was always there and he is a good person. We just don't get along. Of course we don't get along. You're toxic and I'm not. But I pray for you. I love you. I want the very best for you. We just on different pages. And I get that. Everybody can't be on the same page. Everybody don't live the same type of life. People can choose to do what they want to do. I'm not knocking you. If you choose to be a murderer, I'll still write you in jail. If you choose to do whatever, your choices in life are your choices. I don't got time to be in your business. I'm too busy worrying about my business. And I got so much going on in my life. If I fail to respond to you, take it as I'm busy trying to live. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, P-Shaq.
Go ahead.
Man, I just got to add on to the last thing you said right there, right? It just seems like they hate to give us credit.
What?
The world hates to give a black man credit.
Okay. And this is what
sure.
hold on before you finish that. I want you to stay right there. Don't take anything personal. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say or do is a projection of their own reality, their own dreams. When you are immune to the opinion and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. Now, go ahead. Why would they give you credit? I'm just asking. Why would anybody give you credit? Why do you even need credit from anybody?
You don't.
I don't even want it no more. I don't want it.
But why?
I got the answer.
Go ahead, Ed.
It probably make you feel good, but we gotta avoid what make us feel good because sex feel good sometimes too, right?
Right.
But it ain't good. I just learned this word called a succubus, right? It ain't good. So we don't want we don't want none of that. Just accept yourself, appreciate yourself, and know what you did or doing is right, and continue on life. Cause then we get into our own thoughts, and then now we're gonna turn toxic, and now we're gonna go down because we're thinking too hard on what somebody ain't doing or appreciating us for.
Preach, bro. Hey, I always say you get a nut for a nut. I don't know if I can say that. My bad.
He got a point. He got a point. My only pushback is the truth matters. It may not matter to nobody else, but it matters to this man right here.
Right?
And as long as you know it, that all that matters, right? Cause look, you can have $1 million in your pocket, but I don't think you got one. But what is my opinion about your $1 million matter? Because you know you got it.
Yeah, all that sounds good. All that sounds good. Because people can talk about what their opinion of your life is and your circumstances is. I'm talking about my personal life, with my family, with my kids, with my legacy, with my hair. I'm talking about me. You can't rewrite history and tell me I feel some way about it because it made me feel good. No, I just care about the truth. The truth.
Nah, that's just an opinion.
Yeah, and you can rewrite history. You know why?
Right, my history.
Because it's his story.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
You're the only one can write your story.
That's right.
You know what I'm
Can't
saying?
write. But then you're gonna write a story you don't believe in. Then you're gonna have people believe in you too. So go ahead, keep believing that if you want to. That history can't be changed. You get what I'm saying? All of that. Everything that's happening right now, everything that they were saying was a lie about coming to the front now, right? It's the truth.
Right.
So
That part.
You can live in that space if you want to. It's just gonna chew you up. You get what I'm saying? And then guess what's gonna happen? Is that you're gonna get to 60 and 70, and then you're gonna feel historic, and then you ain't gonna have no story to go behind it. You don't got no legacy because you stuck in that thought process. Nah. Every day that you wake up, you got an opportunity of changing something.
I want to ask. Go ahead,
Brian. Go ahead, Byron.
I just want to say this. Like you said, Shaq.
Can't hear you, Byron.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Y'all can't hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Listen. When you said we wake up every day, when God wake you up every day is your birthday. The day you was born is the day you was born, but every day after that is your birthday, because you celebrating life that he put in you. So that is a birthday. So when they tell me I'm 63, I say I beg the difference, because 63 times 12 is way more than 63.
Right.
Let's do. I be like, you know me, Shaq. I'm a numbers man, and when you tell me that I'm 63, but I'm living 365 days in a year, 365 times 12 is a lot of numbers.
That's 22,995 days.
Hello. That's our true age. So if we can't live our true lives, but we living behind the hand that's hiding our faces, we are the faces behind the hidden hand. Surprise! America's biggest surprise is us. We are America's biggest surprise.
Right, Ezekiel said, y'all not listening. So he said, y'all just talking. Y'all not listening. All I'm saying is, I got a buddy. He had $2 million, right? He called me bragging, talking bad, and I said, listen, bro, I don't care nothing about your $2 million. I don't care nothing about what you got. That's your money and your problem. And the truth of the matter is, a whole bunch of people don't like you. They're only around you because you got money. Today, he's driving an Uber. He has no money and no friends, because he thought when he got that $2 million, he was treating people a certain kind of way. Now the money is gone. What happened to all your friends? He called me and said,
they gone too.
Oh, they was only my friends because of my money. I said, no, they wasn't your friends because of your money. You was buying them and you was treating them any kind of way. And when you ran out of money, they realized who you was. And they didn't want to be bothered with you anymore. So they walked away. But I told you that up front. So now you're calling me. I still got the same money I've been having when you had your $2 million. I still got my same house, my same car. Matter of fact, I got new cars. I still got the same stuff I had. And now you're calling me, asking me for help. Even though you did me wrong, you're asking me for help.
Shit.
And I'm still helping.
That's the way it always happens.
So I'm just saying, at the end of the day, y'all, we got to be real men. And we got to step up to the plate. Because all of us got our own stuff. And all of us believe what we want to believe. And sometimes we get frustrated when people don't hear what we say. We tell people what we think. And then when people give you an opinion, sometimes you get mad at other people's opinion. and an opinion is like a behind. Everybody got one. So if you don't want to hear my opinion, don't tell me something, because I'm gonna tell you what works for me. You feel me?
Yep,
So,
yep.
and I know we get ready to shut down, and I'm gonna get the last few comments. Shaq, you ain't got a comment yet?
Nah, but I appreciate all y'all stories, man.
All right.
Just
Chris,
soaking
you
it
got a
in.
comment? All right, I come back to Chris. Ant, you got a closing comment?
Let's just all be great. We are America.
Hey, I'm gonna call you today, Ant. My son just moved to Vegas. I want to hook y'all up. Will, you got a closing comment?
Hey, good session this morning. I appreciate all y'all. I did more listening than talking today because I'm in office. I literally had to come down here this morning. But I did wanna make a final comment. And it's not really a comment, it's more of a suggestion. And this is not it's based off of what someone said today, but not based off of anyone in the group. But I wanted to say, I think maybe if we can venture into Marcel when he was talking, trauma bonding.
Whoa.
I think that's a great topic.
You said a trauma line?
And then also, I would also like to see maybe some education, especially us being men of color, African American, some education on domestic violence. Because I can speak for myself. I live in Sacramento County, and as most of you guys know, I work in that arena, right? So a lot of people don't know, but Sacramento County has a federal grant. Somebody got to go to jail.
Wait. Back up. Tell us that again.
P-Shack, I can't hear you. Hold on. I'm a log out and log back in. Give me 1 second.
Oh man,
He said trauma bond. He said
Okay.
trauma bond.
Okay.
He said we should do a therapy session about trauma bonding.
I want to talk to him. About let him lead us with that next week. It's called trauma bonding.
He's telling the truth though about Sacramento County. He's telling the truth.
Okay, let's get this. Hey, Will, we let's talk about this call me, because I want to let's do the next couple of shows on trauma bonding.
Oh man, I would love that, because me in Sacramento County, oh man, that was I just want to tell you real quick about it, because when I was living up in Sacramento, 95, 97, the Sacramento sheriffs entered into my home with me and my family and accused me of murder of a child. And the federal judge at that time, he exonerated those sheriffs of any wrongdoing. They beat us in the first trial, but we got it overturned in the 9th district. And I asked for $5 million the first time. The second trial, they gave me 27,000 peanuts. And then told me I just better be lucky I ain't going to prison.
Wow. Chris, Will, let's I want to talk to you when we get off the line too about what you said, but can you finish? Go ahead.
I was just saying, I think those are important topics, for people like that. You know what I'm saying? I think sometimes, especially in the realm of laws, we as a community get caught up on, I have a son now. I have 3 daughters that are older, but my son is really young, and he's 5. And we get caught up on, hey, when you get pulled over, this is what you do. Put your hands on the steering wheel, do this, woo, 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 woo. We all done got that same story, right? Our parents was born in the 60s, the 50s, whatever. Some of you guys might have been born in the 50s and the 60s. I was born in the 70s. And we teach that. But we don't teach the know your rights. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about this pull your cell phone out and tape Officer John while he's at your house and X, Y, and Z. You get what I'm saying? I'm talking about, hey, it's a certain way to conduct yourself because of what you look like. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in a very unique environment. I have a lot of ex-law enforcement now in my family. My aunt was a sheriff in Sac County for a very long time. And bruh, if I told y'all how many times I've been slammed on the hoods of cars by Sacramento County sheriffs and then turned around and was like, hey, my aunt is Short Sam's. Oh. I'm talking about citations that went away. You get what I'm saying? Oh, go, it's good. Then you go back, one incident I'll never forget. For those that live in Sacramento, I was in between Calvine Road and Laguna Boulevard on Franklin Boulevard. Pulled over on I'm about 17 years old at this time, driving a 1996 Toyota Camry SE. Remember when they changed the body style and it was the bubble?
Right.
And it was my mama car, just FYI, it wasn't my car. But in short, I'm pulled over. Me and my partners, we sitting on the side of the road for about an hour and a half. They searching the car, they doing all types of stuff, right? And behold, I ended up calling my aunt. I ended up getting a ticket. And call aunt, letting her know, never had to appear. The court ticket just disappeared. You get what I'm saying? But point of saying all that is that we are targeted, and you have to be aware of that. You know what I'm saying? Because there's certain things that will take place. You know what I'm saying? So point of saying all that is like with the domestic violence portion of it, what I was pointing out is Sacramento County does have a grant. It's a federal grant. You know what I'm saying? And yes, if they get a DV call, someone has to go to jail. Period. That's the only way they get the money. It's no different than the Sacramento County jail. And I'll just use the county jail as an example. A lot of people may be aware, but RCCC, the branch as we know it, the branch, you can sit in the branch for 13 months now. Because now a lot of people who get out on parole to the county instead of paroling to the state. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
We got to be educated on these things. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you're in a situation, and then when you get in that situation, man, them situations can ruin your life in 2.25 seconds.
Right.
That's the reality of it. You know what I'm saying? So I think what my point of saying all that is when I was listening today, I heard a lot of that. And I'm like, there's a lot of intricate details of these situations that we have to know, especially as men in general. Because all it takes is, he hit me. Good luck.
Well, man, we definitely got to talk, and we can come up with some topics, and you can and lead us in them, because and I would love to do that, because that's the whole purpose of Therapy Thursday. I want to understand trauma bonding. I want to understand all that.
Trauma bonding, I don't know a lot about, but when Marcel said that, I was like, trauma bonding, that's people who got trauma, and they just feed off of each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I want to know more about that, because you don't know if you're subject to that sometimes. You get what I'm saying?
I got a daughter that's in that right now. You know what I'm saying? We definitely going to put that out there. And hey, y'all, I'm excited, bro. I'm excited every Thursday on Therapy Thursday. Me and Glenn goal is, get us some sponsors for we can all get paid to come on here. You know what I'm saying? This could be a podcast that we can get some money. Everybody else getting it, and they ain't talking about nothing. So that's definitely our goal. Byron, I am excited you came on, bro. I got to make sure I add you in it so that you can continue to be part of it. And Glenn is working because he just got back from, I don't know if I always get it wrong, Guyana or Ghana. And so we have Guyana. So he's working on it. He's going to make sure we on point. And hey, y'all, just be a little patient with us. And I appreciate y'all. Y'all don't know how much I appreciate y'all for coming on. I want to thank Byron. I want to thank Chris. I want to thank Shaquille. I want to thank Ant. And I'm going to call you in a few. And I want to thank Will, because Will keep us going, man. Will keep us on point. You know, I like Will. I like all y'all, but Will be having some stuff I need to hear. So, hey, y'all. Again, you know, the radio show, we're live. Just to let y'all know that we're live on the radio, and you can catch this podcast on my Facebook, Mr. Shakir Zaid at Gmail, or Dr. Shakir Zaid, or Pastor Shakir Zaid. And it's on my Instagram, and it's on my TikTok. So when y'all, on TikTok, I'm Billionaire Shaq. Where you at? Just remember that. You got to speak those things as though they are. I'm billionaire.
Hey, billionaire boys.
I'm billionaire _Shaq _ where you at? So, hey, y'all. Thank y'all. We'll be back next Thursday. So, y'all have a blessed one. If no more comments, y'all be great. Take care. My daughter finna take me to get a mani and a pedi. That's why I got to close out. So, thank y'all. Have a great one.
All right, Shaq. All right.
All right, be great.
Oakland forever, baby.
Tony.